Hey guys, welcome in. Hope you're having a great Monday. It is the Rob Kendall Show. Oh, man. Do we have a show for you today? The Secretary of State, Diego Morales, he had a meltdown. A meltdown. I pay is back. I pay is back on Friday, and then it dissolved from there. He's accusing Max Engling of being part of an online hookup site. He's insinuating he might have had a criminal record. This race is getting juicy, and we are going to give you all the details. Plus, today, we are finally going to play the audio from Max Engling last week, which we told you we knew existed, saying that there should be a special investigator appointed to investigate Diego Morales. Now, this was crazy because we had the audio last week. I knew when it happened that it went down. And I came out and I said, he said this. It's not like it's anything controversial. It's not like it's some outlandish statement. Somebody should investigate Diego Morales. We've been saying that for years now. And for some bizarre reason, and I still don't understand. I mean, I do understand this, but like it blows my mind that they do this. The Engling people freaked out and were like, "No, he didn't say it. No, he didn't say it." It's like, yeah, he did. I've heard it. I've heard the audio. Why would I make that up? And why are you guys pissed off that he said it? It's not like it's going to harm him. Diego should be investigated. He absolutely should. But everybody kept saying, no. So the source got the audio to Abdul, and Abdul put in the cheat sheet on Friday. Yeah, I heard it. He totally said it. And then all of a sudden they were like, well, but he didn't say it in his speech. He just said it to one of the delegates. This is ridiculous. The whole thing, this whole Secretary of State's race is ridiculous. And so we're going to, like, this is the gift. I told you guys a few weeks ago, it's going to be the summer of Rob. The Secretary of State's race, especially if Ballard gets those signatures, is going to be the summer of Rob. The Republicans are melting down. The Republicans are imploding. We've got a chance that we're finally going to see the Republicans get some comeuppance for their years and years of bad governance and bad behavior and lying to the people and not following through. We might get a new political party with primary ballot access. It's the summer I've always waited for. It's the summer of Rob. Speaking of the Secretary of State's race, obviously, Saturday is the convention. And so later this week, I'm going to sit down with one delegate, one pledged delegate, that meaning a person who has said they're going to vote for each of the candidates. Jamie Rittenauer, David Shelton, Max Engling, Diego Morales. And we're going to talk with each one of them for about 10 minutes on why they made their choice. Why are they voting for the candidate they're voting for? And what do they intend to do if their person gets knocked out? If their person goes down, like on the first ballot or the second ballot, rounds of voting, what do they intend to do with their vote? I think these conversations are going to be fascinating. And look, it's not going to be I'm going to grill you. It's not, these people aren't politicians. They're just delegates. And they were kind enough to say, hey, I'll tell you how I'm voting and why. And maybe that'll give us some insight into how people are going to vote at the convention this weekend, this Saturday. By the way, Republican Party, what are you doing? What are you doing having your convention in Fort Wayne on Father's Day weekend? What are we doing here? And what are we doing having the convention the same weekend of the U.S. Open? What are we doing here? Whoever scheduled that, we got to have a long talk with that person. All right, we'll get to all that. Plus, we got Iran with the peace deal with the United States. A whole bunch of stuff to get to today. Before we do, though, want to tell you about a new sponsor to our program, All American Dog Fence. Do you guys have a fenced-in? You guys have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Maybe your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All American Dog Fence. All American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All American Dog Fence, they're locally owned. Owners Kelly and Jeff have 3 dogs themselves and so believed in the product, they bought the business. How about that for a testimonial? All American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products designed and manufactured in the United States with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606. 317-862-6606, or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. allamericandogfence.com. Mention the Rob Kendall Show, and you're going to get an incredible $200 off. Just mention the Rob Kendall Show, and you're going to get $200 off. All American Dog Fence. All right. We got so much to get to with the Secretary of State's race. Now, this audio we're about to play from you, it was a Friday night. There was an event in the 5th Congressional District. I believe it was at the property of Sarah Janice Brown. She's the woman who ran against Jefferson Shreve this past year, almost pulled off the upset. And at this event, it was an event, hey, if you're a delegate, you can come, you can hear the candidates speak, blah, 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 right? They have these events all the time. And the people speaking at the event were Diego, David Shelton, and Kyle Pierce, who is a state rep, speaking for Max Engling. I guess Rittenhour didn't have a person there. I don't know. But it's my understanding that each of the candidates were allowed up to 10 minutes to speak, or in this case, candidates and proxies, Kyle Pierce speaking for Max Engling. And then what you're about to hear from Diego is after everyone had spoken. I don't know if he grabbed the microphone or he had his own microphone, and he goes back up on the stage. So everybody's had their opportunity to speak, and then Diego has a microphone, grabs it, runs back up after I think everybody had their opportunity. By the way, our pal Indy reporter with the footage on this, and I've told you guys this for a long time now, going back to the IBC days. If you're not following Indy reporter, you should be. If you're into Indiana politics and government, that dude does tons of work. At Indy_reporter_ on Twitter, if you want to follow him. He filmed this. He went to the event. We wouldn't have this if it weren't for him. This audio is gold. So you'll hear Diego. I think he's responding to Kyle Pierce, State Rep Kyle Pierce, who said something that triggered him during his speech for Max Engling. And it is a glorious meltdown. Again, Diego's always a little tough to understand. He mentions India. He's mad about India still. And it's my understanding nobody in this speech has mentioned India. This is just impromptu. He gets mad about India. He's talking about, it appears that he says if you don't give him money, he doesn't listen to you, or he's not going to talk to you. He starts screaming about fighting. It is a glorious Diego meltdown. Take a watch, take a listen.
Foremost, I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office, period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that. Then give me the check first.
I didn't bring up India.
But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lied right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County. Let me be that clear. You see, we need to set the record straight because these people, they're trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight.
That is so great. That is so great. And again, full credit to the Indy reporter who went there, filmed it. And the best part is Steven, the Indy reporter, laughing in the background. That is the absolute best part. I was talking with Steven yesterday, and he's like, man, I'm sorry, I was laughing in the back. I said, no. That's the best part. That guy, Diego Morales, is unhinged. Everything I've been telling you guys for 4 years. Who paid for your trip to India, Diego? It matters. And look, am I the only one? I mean, again, he's hard to understand and he's getting pissed off. And so he's using words that don't go together and he's skipping words and all sorts of stuff. But am I the only one who heard him say that? It sounded like he said, if you don't give me money, I don't listen to you. If you don't give me money, you don't have a say in what I do. Look, I think that was the biggest part of all. I mean, obviously the India stuff, and was he trying to say that he raised the money? Again, Diego so butchers the English language that it's tough to figure out what he's saying sometimes. But it appeared that he said that he raised that money, which is, of course, complete bullcrap. He admitted somebody else paid for the trip. Why don't we do this, guys? It's so damn funny. Why don't we watch it again and laugh at him again, and then we'll get into it? How about, is that all right? Can we do that? All right, we'll watch it again. We'll laugh at this clown again, and then we'll get into what he said, or at least what we can try to what we think he said. Take a listen.
Foremost, I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office. Period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that, then give me the check first.
I didn't bring up India.
But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lied right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County. Let me be that clear. You see, we need to set the record straight because these people, they're trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight.
Unhinged gibberish. And I get the guys from a foreign country, but that is no excuse. Like, that's unhinged gibberish. My 3-year-old, or soon to be 3-year-old, could have given a more coherent statement than that. He's like putting words that don't go together. He's skipping words. That is the chief elections officer for the state of Indiana. That is the guy in charge of businesses for the state of Indiana. If I'm Max Engling or Shelton or any of these people, I play that video at the convention. I would do a montage of him screaming at the Motor Vehicle Advisory Board. Just montage him. Don't say a word. The prosecution rests, Your Honor. The prosecution rests. So he clearly says in there, and India, I broke you, Diego. I broke you. Ha ha! Kendall wins again. I broke him. Nobody mentioned India. You're like Willie Nelson. I'm always on your mind. Nobody mentioned it. And it was on his mind because he's dirty on that and he knows. So let's remind everybody the history on India. He knows it's a big deal and he knows that it's going to affect people voting for him. And great. I'm glad. Kendall broke you, Diego. When you lose on Saturday, I hope that's the first thing you think of. And I hope, you know who he's like? Remember in The Wedding Singer? Movie The Wedding Singer when Steve Buscemi's the drunk brother and he grabs the microphone and he's like, I think they were hookers, but I don't remember paying. Why can't you be more like your brother, Harold? Harold would never beat up his landlord. That's who Diego is. He's Buscemi in The Wedding Singer. Dude, you had your 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to say whatever you want. And so does that guy. It wouldn't have mattered if he'd looked right at you and said, you are the most rotten, unethical, corrupt human being on the face of the planet. You don't grab a microphone and run back up there and act like a buffoon. Does no one have any control over this guy whatsoever? Is there not some handler? There's supposed to be some guy to grab him before he gets up there, cut his something. Okay. Just a reminder on the history of the India stuff, okay? And by the way, he clearly says that unless you write the check, you don't have the right to know who paid for my trip to India. No, we do, Diego. We do. Because you said, your office said, you were there on official business. Now, the reason he did this, remember, he did this because he thought he was going to be cute, and he thought if he said, well, no official funds were used, everybody would just let it go. Remember that. We discovered the Indians stooged on him. We didn't know where he was. He disappeared for 10 days. He blew off his budget hearing. And the Indians stooged on him and posted photos. Reminder, Diego went to India on economic development business of which he has no responsibilities whatsoever. None. The Secretary of State has zero economic development responsibilities. None. There was no reason for him to be in a foreign country for 10 days for economic development. He doesn't have any authority over economic development. The governor hasn't appointed him as some sort of trade mission specialist. The IEDC hasn't, deputized him or whatever you want to call it. None. So he's in India. The Indians stooged on him and started posting photos. That's how we figured out where he was. And he thought he was going to be cute and go, well, no tax dollars were used. Nobody should care about this. But that's, it's like the Scooby-Doo episode. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for Rob Kendall. We kept this story alive all these years. We did. I did. Because you are a dirty, rotten scumbag, Diego Morales. And my one regret about not going to Fort Wayne this weekend, I'm not going. Too long to travel, all day there. I'm not missing a U.S. Open. Bad scheduling by the Republicans. But my one regret is that I don't get to say it right to your face again so I can watch you melt down like you did in Clay County. So I can watch you melt like the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz. I would give great money to be able to do it to you again right to your face. And you were too big of a chicken to come in here and have the conversation. Reminder, Diego went to India with Raju Shantala. Raju Shantala had an $80,000 taxpayer contract with Diego's office. We don't know what Raju did. When I asked Diego in the middle of his meltdown in Clay County what Raju did, he said, well, he checked on the businesses. What do you mean he checked on the businesses? He checked on the businesses. We pay $80,000 for some guy to check on the businesses? He checked on the businesses. We do know that Raju Shantala was bragging on Facebook about being in India, in the city where Diego met with the mayor, and he was bragging about selling visa access. We also know that a venture capitalist went on the trip as well. So you have the Secretary of State traveling to a foreign country on a quote-unquote economic development mission of which he has no economic development responsibility. We have no idea what he did there other than the photos the Indians posted. You have his buddy, a hyper-connected Republican who has been at the heart of a whole bunch of economic development deals between India and the United States, India and Indiana. They're doing who knows what, other than certainly we know he was trying to sell visas or visa access. He stooged on himself on that one. In the city where Diego met with the mayor, and a venture capitalist went with them. And by the way, the visas, there's financing for those, I believe, that Raju was talking about on his Facebook ad. I don't think you got to be a rocket scientist to start putting it together, do you? So yeah, Diego, we do have the right to ask, and everybody is asking. Now, he clearly said in there, right, unless you give me money, you don't have the right to ask who paid for my trip, right? I mean, that, again, gibberish. That is disgusting. Even if he weren't a complete, corrupt, unethical scumbag, that's the I once heard it described as this when somebody can't talk, and it's perfect. Verbal effluviance. That's perfect. That's the perfect description right there. My soon-to-be 3-year-old could give a more coherent statement than what you heard from him. That's right, and I can say that because she's part Hispanic. That's right. Nobody can accuse me of being racist. My Hispanic 3-year-old. That's right. My Hispanic 3-year-old could give a more coherent statement than that gibberish. The shouting, the flailing. But you can't blame Diego for this. If you give a bank robber a gun outside of a bank, you can't be mad that the guy goes in and robs the bank. You knew what he was, you gave him the tools to execute, and you didn't stop him. And that's the Republican Party. The guy who spoke for Engling, Kyle Pierce, state rep. You know what Kyle Pierce has done? And he's been, very critical of all of this now, of Diego, right? You know what he's done? The past 4 years he's been a state rep to stop Diego? Nothing until Max Engling got in the race. Nothing. Fully funding all of Diego's budgets with all the what? All the stuff, right? All the stuff. All the crap Diego's pulled emanates out of the General Assembly giving him stuff. And guys like Kyle Pierce have repeatedly done nothing to stop Diego. They voted to fund Diego. And then they have the audacity to stand up and act like they're very concerned about Diego. All of these people, Banks, Rokita, it wasn't that long ago that Todd Rokita was on Fort Wayne radio. Casey Hendrickson asked him, the one guy who asked Rokita, and by the way, you notice none of those IBC guys will ask about it either. You notice that? What's the one show Rokita would never go on? Nobody. The only guy to ever ask Rokita about Diego was Casey Hendrickson. And Rokita basically did the me so stupid, me no ability to help routine. Of course, Rokita can apparently have his guys go to people's houses and threaten to indict them, according to the Capitol Chronicle, if they say something about him that he doesn't like. But when it comes to doing anything to stop the wholly corrupt Secretary of State, which he's essentially admitted it when he referred to scandals, plural. Why did you revoke or rescind your endorsement, Todd? Scandals, as in with an S. That's your Attorney General, big tough fighter Todd. Hey, Todd, go ahead and talk crap about me to your employees today. I can't wait to hear about it. Jim Banks, same thing. And this is their plan. They don't want it fixed. They don't want it fixed. They want it swept under the rug. That's where Engling comes in. Now, let's take a break, because when we come back, Diego's unhingement continued. We got to talk about the tweet that he sent out accusing Engling of being part of a online sex site, the allegation of potential criminal behavior related to Engling. And then we got to play you the audio of Engling, as we told you last week, and we're exactly right, of Engling saying a special investigator should be appointed to look into Diego Morales. We will play all of it for you when we come back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Summer of Rob. It's the Rob Kendall Show.
Foremost, I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office, period. Period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that, then give me the check first. I didn't bring up India. But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lied right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me, because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County. Let me be that clear. You see, we need to set the record straight, because these people, they're trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties. I would love to get to know you. I know that buying and selling a home is a really big deal. You need a plan in place so you can succeed. And that's where I come in. If you are buying, let me help you find that perfect home. And if you are selling, let me help you find that perfect buyer. Look, we're all Rob Kendall Show fans here. That's why I'd love to get to know you. I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties, an Army veteran and a Hoosier through and through. Call me at 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290.
Do you have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use, in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606 or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Mention The Rob Kendall Show and get $200 off a new installation.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for joining us. We got so much stuff. We're just getting started today. True story. I put two things on the template today. The Secretary of State stuff and the Trump stuff. And I spent an hour on it. I said, why am I doing anything else? I don't need anything else. That's more than enough. Oh, we got to, here in just a moment, we got to talk about the text of the delegates that Diego sent out. We got to play the audio of Max Engling telling a delegate that Diego should be investigated. And again, we got to thank our pal Indy reporter for that video of Diego at that event on Friday. If it were not for him, that would not have existed. Everybody's we always encourage people to support that account. They do a great job of pointing out Indiana politics and government news and documents and all sorts of stuff that other news agencies won't or can't or whatever. At Indy_reporter_ on Twitter. Okay, so a couple of housekeeping items before we get back into all of this. First of all, if you're new, welcome. Thanks for being here. Nobody does Indiana politics and news and government like us. There's a couple ways you can help us grow this program. If you like what we do, we call it like, share, and subscribe. Number one, hit that little thumbs up button. If you're watching us live or on demand on Facebook, hit the thumbs up button, like the feed, really helps us grow the program. Share it out. Put it far and wide. We are dependent upon the kindness of strangers. Our growth here, it's organic. So if you got a Facebook, if you got a Twitter, share us out. Let people know. Let people know we're here and doing this right now. And last but certainly not least, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you're getting the program from, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe. You can help us grow the Rob Kendall Show and help us keep getting the word out about Indiana politics and government and takes and stories you're not going to hear, people aren't going to hear anywhere else. A couple of other things. We have a website, robkendallshow.com. And right now, if you head over to robkendallshow.com, still get your tickets. Few left. The live show, June the 27th. We're 2 weeks away. Mad Hatter Comedy Club Event Center in Greenwood. It's a celebration of you guys helping us continue to grow the program. You guys have made this show so awesome, and every day you tune in, and we wanted to say thank you to you guys. That's why we're putting on a live show. Come meet your friends, people you chat with in the YouTube chat. June 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club, Event Center in Greenwood. Get your tickets now. Link available, robkendallshow.com. We're going to get to what Diego sent out yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess now, to the delegates in just a moment. But first, one of the biggest challenges homeowners face is coordinating the sale of their current home with the purchase of their next one. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps Central Indiana families explore bridge loans and home equity solutions that may provide flexibility during the transition. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or need to access your home's equity, Gary takes the time to understand your goals and walk you through your options. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more. Loansbygary.homes to learn more. Gary Tedrow, Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 179207, equal housing lender. All right, so we played you that video of Diego having the meltdown on Friday. And then late Friday, almost like the same time this is going down, a website surfaced. And the website, really through an anonymous source, made allegations through what they claimed were public record access about a Maximilian T. Engling, which they claim is Max Engling. And in this website, they claim he was charged with criminal recklessness and criminal mischief in Hamilton County of May of 2007 with the disposition date of October 2007. Now, we're going to go through what this website claims, and then I'm going to read you the tweet that Diego sent out to the delegates on Saturday, okay? So this website pops up late Friday, almost same time Diego's having the meltdown, and it claims that a Maximilian T. Engling in 2007, May of 2007, charged with criminal recklessness and criminal mischief. Now, it is important to note that these allegations are misdemeanors, and they're from 20 years ago. And there's no resolution listed on this website. So I want to say this. You guys know I'm no Engling fan. Like, I think what the Republicans are trying to do here, this play where they ignored and enabled and emboldened Diego for 4 years, nobody would do anything when we were literally begging them to help. Not because we wanted something, but we knew this guy was incredibly harmful to our state. And now they have recognized, either through internal polling or common sense or whatever, that he's about to go down if he's the nominee, that the Republicans will lose the office if he's the nominee, that they inserted this Jim Banks stooge, Engling, in his place, where Engling has admitted he's only running because Banks gave him permission. I mean, he's admitted it multiple times. Shame on all these people. Shame on Engling for being a part of it. If you wanted the job, you should have applied for the job, said you're running for the job a year ago, even 6 months ago. You shouldn't need permission from your boss to run for public office. Either you think somebody good needs the position or you don't. If you think Diego's a scumbag, if you think he's corrupt, if you think he's unethical, which he is, you shouldn't need Jim Banks' permission to do this. This campaign of Engling is about Jim Banks taking control of the Republican Party. That's it. That's what this is about. It's a piggyback off of the Senate elections. Jim Banks is trying to take control of the Republican Party. It's not about making the office better. It's not about cleaning up the office. It's not about holding Diego accountable. No one has proposed to hold Diego accountable. Not Rokita, not Banks, not Victoria Spartz, not any of these minions or clingers or hangers-on to Banks and Rokita who have also reversed their endorsement. None of them. They don't want Diego held accountable because Diego's money touches most of them at some point. They don't want the money to dry up. They don't want the money being indicted. They don't want the money being held accountable. What they want is Diego to go away, to be swept under the rug. They're trying to thread a needle here where they get this guy in and they get Diego out without damaging the brand and, most importantly, without damaging the money. So you guys know my opinion on Engling and what they're trying to do here. However, I don't think that misdemeanor charges, if indeed they happen, and I'll get to that in a second, from 20 years ago when the guy would have been 19, 20 years old, disqualifies you from public office. We talked about this with the race in Terre Haute, the Senate race, in which the woman with the same last name was running, and they tried to get her kicked off the ballot and claimed she was convicted of a felony, and she clearly wasn't. The court kept saying she wasn't. And then she came on our program, and I said this at the time. I said, she ran from the cops. That's what she did. That was what she did that got her arrested. And I was like, when you're 18, 19 years old, people do stupid stuff all the time. All of us do. Now, a lot of us don't do stuff that rises to criminal behavior, but a misdemeanor, I'm not sure your life gets destroyed for some one stupid decision that you made 20 years ago, 19 years ago. So as much as I dislike Max Engling, there's plenty of things to dislike about what he's doing, what he's a part of, what he's propping up, what he's emboldening, enabling. I don't think a misdemeanor, some sketchy, shady, unaccounted for alleged misdemeanor charge from 20 years ago does a guy in. By the way, if you go to My Case, have you guys ever been to My Case? For those of you who don't know, Indiana has a very transparent court system. And if you go to mycase.in.gov, now, as we found out with the former or the current state rep, if names get entered wrong or addresses get entered wrong, then it's harder to track. Remember that? Remember Bo Baird, who we got wind of had the OWI and never disclosed it, and it was able to be avoided from the public, Jim Baird's son, and that was because his name was entered wrong in the system and the address was conveniently one number off. Remember that? I mean, so it's not perfect, right? But in terms of compared to other states, we have a pretty transparent court system. If you go to mycase.in.gov, you can look up people and you can find any court proceeding that they've been a part of. And so when I saw this thing come down, the mycase.in.gov review does not show any of these alleged arrests. Now, I don't know if that means if something gets expunged, if it gets removed. I don't know, as we saw with the Baird case, if somebody might have entered a name wrong. But I'm saying looking Max Engling up in mycase.in.gov, none of this alleged arrest, apprehension, whatever charges from May of 2007 don't exist in there that I saw. Now, Maximilian T. Engling, someone under that name, sure does think that posted speed limits are optional from about 2007 to 2010. Woo! Yikes. Whoever was in the car with that guy, lucky to be here. And again, you guys go look that up for yourself. And by the way, over and over and over again, speed limits optional with whoever that Maximilian T. Engling was. But that's about the worst that I could find on the guy. But again, I could not find these charges listed in the My Case. Now, again, doesn't mean they didn't happen. As we found with Baird, there's lots of reasons you can't necessarily find things. What's interesting is Engling, to my knowledge, has not addressed nor denied this. It's clearly out there. Doesn't mean he has to. It's his campaigning, do whatever he wants to do with it. But he has not refuted that as of yet. All right. Then the article goes on to something else, which is probably even more interesting. And again, something some kid did 20 years ago. Now, look, if it's murder, if he robbed a bank, if he was a part of international terrorism, sex crimes of some sort, right, yeah. Okay, that's all a big deal. But criminal mischief could be anything. Until I know what it is and what the adjudication was, I mean, it's a misdemeanor. He was not charged with the felony, if indeed that's accurate. So I don't think that disqualifies you if it's accurate. But then the article goes on to claim that accounts alleged to be Engling were exposed during data breaches as having been part of multiple online hookup sites, including Fling and Adult Friend Finder. Okay, so I learned this over the weekend. Now, you guys know my wife is in cybersecurity. So I asked her, and she's like, yeah, dumbass. I was like, how does this work, right? Because I don't know anything about the internet, and I don't know anything about the dating sites. My dating sites were the social media of the day, right? Hey, you look pretty. Would you like to hang out? That's how we did it back in the day. Or, and this is a very novel concept, you met them in person. I know, right? Really? Kind of goofy, kind of silly, just like our show. So I asked my wife, I was like, how could you like know somebody's email? Because this allegedly happened from a data breach. There was a data breach of these websites, and that's where this website says they got the information that Engling was a part of these websites from. And I asked my wife, I was like, how does that work? And she's like, well, when there's data breaches, you can look up anybody's email, and if the email was in the data breach, there's websites that have that. I did not know that. Like Johnny Carson, I did not know that. And so if you got an email, you can look up, you can actually see what your any data breaches email accounts associated with that you use or whatever, where they were part of data breaches, which is interesting. So according to this report, it looks like these sites were allegedly being accessed by somebody that the site claims was Engling in 2010 and 2011. So Engling's 39. That means he would have been like 23 or 24 years old. So again, unless he was married, I don't see any issue with a single dude looking for a good time on the internet. Like, even if it's him, what's the issue here? Like, there's no allegation that he was involved in any unconsensual behavior. There's no allegation that he did anything inappropriate. I don't know how long the guy's been married. And even if he was married, that's between him and his wife. What do I care? Again, I don't like the guy. I don't like what he's doing. But in terms of, hey, the guy was allegedly on an adult dating site, adult hookup site. Well, newsflash, and I know this will shock some people, almost all of us have hooked up at some point, right? So what do I care whether he did it at a local tavern? Or what do I care whether he met the woman at a local tavern or he met her on the internet? Why would I care? Now, if there's more to the story, which I'll get to here in a second because Diego wasn't having any of it, then okay, I'll hear it. But in terms of if you're going to tell me I should be super concerned that the guy is a consensual adult, that doesn't mean he was on. I'm just saying these are the allegations. That was on an adult dating site where people go to hook up. I mean, Engling's a good-looking guy. I think he was a model at one point. If it's Engling and Bye, it'll be the most beautiful election in Indiana history. I'm not mad at the guy. Good on him. If everybody was consenting, if everybody was engaging, whatever women wanted to engage with him with whatever, I don't care. I just don't think that's a gotcha from something that appears to be 15 or 16 years ago. But it's, of course, it's designed to create doubt, right? Like, what was he doing on these websites? We all know that, right? That's what this is about. The insinuation is not that Max Engling was on an adult website looking for college chicks to hook up with, right? We all know what they're getting at. We all know what they're trying to insinuate. We all know the doubt. Again, I don't like the guy, but I'm not taking him down on innuendo. I got enough here to take him down on, which is he's a stooge for Jim Banks. And they're going to sweep Diego under the rug. And the same people who for years were telling me to sit down and shut up about Diego are now saying this guy's the reincarnation of Reagan and that Diego gots to go because he's such damaged goods. I'm not going to indict a guy over, well, there might have been a criminal mischief charge 20 years ago. Okay, tell me more about it. What was it? I'm not condemning a guy. Oh, he was on an adult hookup site, allegedly, 15 years ago. Okay. If he'd have been DMing chicks like on Facebook or, I mean, I don't think there was an Instagram back then, but would that have made it like, But it's designed to plant doubt, and I'll come to that here in a second. By the way, he allegedly went by the screen name Diamond Jacks. I like that. Diamond Jacks. That's a good one. That's a good one. If he wins, Jaxx, Diamond Jacks. If he wins, his nameplate in his office should say Diamond Jacks on it, just as a giant middle finger to all the people that tried to take him down. Welcome to the office of Diamond Jacks. I'm the Secretary of State. Ha ha. All right. So this stuff all comes out. And again, I'm reading through it and I'm like, I'm kind of intrigued, like just because, again, I'm not voting for any of these people. So it don't matter to me. I got no dog in this fight. You know what I want, guys. It doesn't matter to me. This is why people love our show. We are the arbiter of truth. We are the espouser of truth because we are not on any of these people's side. So until I know what the criminal mischief thing was, if it even existed, or until I see something that he was doing something other than hooking up with chicks on the internet, I don't think that's all that big a deal. But Diego apparently thought it was, because Diego sent out a mass text to the delegates, allegedly. And this comes on the heels of him having the meltdown. And I'm going to read you what Diego wrote to the delegates. Good afternoon, delegates. It is comical to see Max shed crocodile tears and claim he's been running a, quote, clean race, when we all know he is behind the dark money fake news attacks. All in caps. That's why I was louder with that. On me and the other Republican candidates since the day he entered the race. Now he's crying to which it is hard to argue. Like, we've said this for years. Politics is blood sport. If you're in it, you want to control my business? You want to control how I vote? No tears for you, buddy. No tears for you on any of these people. It's a big boy. It's a big boy endeavor. Now he's crying to delegates because his record has been exposed by the internet. Let's ask Max the questions that need serious answers. Why did Max have accounts on group sex swinger websites, Adult Friend Finder and Fling? Group sex swinger was all in caps. That's why I did it loud. Why did Max have accounts on group sex swinger websites, Adult Friend Finder and Fling? See, this is going to be fascinating when we interview these delegates this week. Like, does any of this bother you? Does any of this change your mind? What about these criminal charges of criminal mischief and criminal recklessness? We were just as shocked to see this info come out. Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sure Diego had no idea. What? You're sending this out on an anonymous website and it just happens to benefit me? No. Imagine the field day Bo by and the Democrats will have with this disqualifying information. Okay. That's the first thing he said that I'm like, all right, he's right. The buys are going to crush the male model. Like, whatever the guy's done. This is what I said about Diego. I said this as soon as Buy got in the race. I said it's over for Diego. The buys are going to have $10 million. They're going to find the buys know who paid for India. I guarantee you right now the buys know who paid for India. I guarantee it. And they know a whole bunch of other stuff that I probably haven't even scratched the surface on. The buys are going to know everything about whoever the candidate is. So whatever Engling did in his personal life, it's going to come out. Diego's actually right about this. I mean, in a sense, it is fair game. It wouldn't affect my vote, but I'm not a Republican delegate. I don't care if the Republican Party wins or not. I mean, I've told you guys, if I were a delegate, it depends. There's two tacks I would take as a delegate. If I were not Rob Kendall, if I actually cared about the Republican Party succeeding in this race, I would vote for Shelton. He's infinitely the most qualified. It's not even close. And he's the least controversial. He's boring. He's good at the job. He's boring. He can run with Elliott. He can run with Nishala. He's got the best chance to hold off Buy and Ballard. However, I am Rob Kendall. So if I were a delegate as Rob Kendall, I would go vote for Diego just because I want this to keep going. You delegates, if you want to do something nice for me, whatever the nearest holiday season is, upcoming holiday season is, you go vote for Diego. 5 more months of Diego would be great. But that's the first thing Diego said. Whatever Engling's done, and he, look, he was in Washington, D.C., so I guarantee you with the Evan Bayh connections, they've got a host of people, or will have a host of people, on this kid if he get Guy. He's so beautiful. I keep thinking he's like 30 years old. He's 39 years old. Why didn't I look like this? If I looked like Engling, I'd have been the president of the United States by now. If I looked like Bayh, I'd be the president. I wouldn't even be here with you people. Diego goes on to say, we need someone with a record of results, not a criminal record. Just imagine what else the Democrats would find on poor little Max, who goes by the screen name Diamond Jacks on online sex sites. Okay. If we're going to play who's probably done the weirdest sex stuff, I'm betting Morales has done weirder stuff than Engling. If we're going to say who's done the weirdest sex stuff, if I had to put money on it, oh, yeah, and you got Shelton with the wife with the toy business. Yeah, Shelton's wife. But the idea that Morales is judging it, hey, Morales, Nah, I'll come back to that later. No. I gotta stay on topic right now. Let's not hand the most sacred office in the state, in which I have fought relentlessly to protect. He actually put that. Let's not hand the most sacred office in the state, which I have fought relentlessly to protect, to the radical Dems by nominating a Republican Hunter Biden. Wow. He basically was like, Engling's into hookers. He's into the drugs. I mean, if you're calling some guy a Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden, that's a nasty allegation, Diego. Hunter Biden wasn't on, he might have been on online sex sites, but he's accused of human trafficking. He's accused of prostitution. Is that what you're saying about doing the crack pipe? If I'm Engling, I'm fuming about that. Look, Engling, listen to me, man. I don't like you and you don't like me. But Banksy and Rokita know who paid for that trip to India. They know. Just unleash it. You don't have to take this from this guy. He basically called you a crack user who's involved in human sex trafficking and prostitution. You shouldn't take that from this clown. Don't let him get away with that. You tell everybody today who paid for India. We all know who it was. Come on, just say it. Put it out there. Crush this guy. Don't take that from him. I don't even like you, and I feel sorry for you being called that. Let's not hand the most sacred office in the state, in which I have fought relentlessly to protect, to the radical Democrats by nominating a, quote, Republican Hunter Biden. If I'm Bayh, I'm putting that in an ad. Even his Republican opponents refer to him as Republican Hunter Biden. That is crazy. This race is getting crazy. But so coming up here in a little bit, we're going to have Lauren Wilson, our fabulous realtor sponsor here on the program. But Jason, can we take another break and then do some more stuff? Because I'd plan to do that at 10, but I got too much to get to because we've got to play the audio of Engling saying last week that Diego should be investigated. And I want to sort of bring all this back together because these people have no one to blame but themselves. The Republican Party has no one to blame but themselves for the mess that they have created. And they vilified a whole bunch of us for simply asking them to clean up their mess, to own it and clean it up. And all of this is created because they wouldn't do it. So when we come back, we'll play you the audio, which has never been heard before, of Engling saying that there should be a special investigator appointed to look into Diego. And we'll talk about why no one should feel bad for any of these candidates because they've all done it to themselves. So take a break. We'll be back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, realtor with App Properties. I would love to get to know you. I know that buying and selling a home is a really big deal. You need a plan in place so you can succeed. And that's where I come in. If you are buying, let me help you find that perfect home. And if you are selling, let me help you find that perfect buyer. Look, we're all Rob Kendall Show fans here. That's why I'd love to get to know you. I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties, an Army veteran and a Hoosier through and through. Call me at 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290.
With a lakefront view in beautiful Brazil, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage is a little out of the way, but totally worth the trip. Down home, made from scratch food, just like the good old days at Grandma's. When you visit the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, you'll leave more at peace than when you came in. Open 5 to 8 for dinner on Friday and Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 1:30 for the buffet. You must experience the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage. Call 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show, as they famously said in a movie. Are you not entertained? Yeah, that's why this show. Remember when they were like, he's gone. It's over. No, this is better than ever because we can spend as much time we want on this stuff. And this is it. This is the conversation I've been having with you guys for 9 years, and it's playing out in real time about who the Republicans are. This Secretary of State's race this year is 9 years, almost 10 years worth of conversations with you guys about who the Republicans are, how they govern, how they don't care about you, and how all you are is a money pit to them. It's not about accountability. It's not about good government. It's about holding on to power because the power's the money. And the refusal to address Diego Morales for 4 years has finally caught up with them. They deserve every bit of this. I hope this next week turns into so much chaos. I hope it gets so mean. I hope it gets so nasty. Because that's what the Republican Party has been to you for the past 10 years. As I've been having these conversations, and every week they were trying to get me fired. They're mean and nasty. It's who they are. They knew what Diego was. It's not a secret. They didn't want to do anything about it because they didn't want to jeopardize their money, because Diego's hooked in with some shady characters. See the high-profile known felon he went to the NBA Finals with and is photographed with. You know, the guy that went down on federal bribery charges that for some reason the Republican Party just swept under the rug. The lieutenant governor and the Secretary of State went to the NBA Finals with a guy who went down on federal bribery charges. And nobody did a thing. Think about that. Oh, and by the way, it's not like a one-off where, everybody makes a mistake, right? Go look the dude up, in my case. It's like a CVS receipt. The Republican Party, same way they know what Micah is, and they won't do anything about it. They know exactly what Diego is, and they refuse to do anything about it because they didn't want the money getting choked off. And now, because Diego is so brazen about it. Again, I've said this for a long time, and it's 100% true. I believe it now more than ever. These politicians like Diego, they're American greed characters. They're con men of the highest order. And one of the things you look at in the American Greed, I know most of you know, it's a great documentary series on CNBC about con men. One of my favorite shows. And one of the things about the American Greed characters is they usually get caught when they get sloppy. And they get sloppy because they get away with it for so long. And that's what Diego is. He did so much stuff and never got held to account. He got so brazen about it and so arrogant about it and so flippant about it that finally He did things that were unavoidable, as in the media started paying attention to it and holding him accountable for it, culminating with the fact that he had a non-citizen who has disappeared. Where is she? Where is Alina Cupsey? She's disappeared. Gonzo. Disappeared. Is she in the country anymore? Don't know. Gone. As his deputy chief of staff, whose highlight of her qualifications was she worked for the Miami Dolphins. A non-citizen. That's how brazen Diego got. So, one of the things over the years, and many of you know, and one of the reasons they hate this is unequivocally we are being proven correct. And everybody associates the fight to expose Diego with me. Because nobody was more passionate about it. Nobody was more vocal about it. You look on social media, when anything with Diego pops up, I get tagged in it. Because I was the guy. And if there's anybody they hate more than Diego right now, it's me. The difference is I'm not running for any public office. I just sit here and do a podcast each day. There's no boss that can fire me anymore. Who do you guys send your complaint letters to now? Is it Jason? Mr. YouTube? Dear Mr. YouTube. And so, one of the things I've begged for the past several years is somebody to launch a formal investigation into Diego Morales. Most likely the Inspector General. I mean, I've always thought Ryan Mears, the Marion County prosecutor, should be involved with that. I mean, to the point where I so believed it, I filed a complaint with the Inspector General, to which they told me it was received, and I've never heard another word from it. I sent them additional information later. Never heard a word back. And so one of the things that I have said that every candidate who's running against Diego should pledge publicly is, if I'm elected, I will immediately advocate, publicly demand a formal investigation by not only Ryan Mears, the Marion County prosecutor, but also the Inspector General into Diego Morales and what he did as Secretary of State. This is why I was so frustrated by the refusal of anyone to do anything when I took hand dropped off letters. They were typed, so can you say handwritten if they were typed? I typed it. I typed. But, I typed these letters and took them over and handed them to all the statewide office holders and said, somebody please do something about this. Not that even if you had the power, but you had the bully pulpit. Imagine if in unison, Rokita and Braun and Micah and Elise Nishala and Daniel Elliott, imagine if all of them had held a press conference and enough is enough with this guy. We are demanding that the Marion County prosecutor open a formal investigation and just lay them all out, right? Scandals are us. None of them would do anything about it. Clearly, I mean, Daniel Elliott laughed at me. He was in his office that day I dropped it off. Him and his lunch club friends. They thought it was funny. Not so funny now, is it, Dan? Because Dan has called for Diego to resign. Imagine, Dan, if a year and a half ago when I was there begging you to help, imagine if you'd have done something. This is why they're so pissed off about this, is it makes us look so good. Because we were right. You know why we were right? Because we don't want anything. I don't want an office. I don't want a job. I don't want money. I don't want a position. I want what I have here. Oh, and by the way, they took the thing I loved the most. Well, other than my family. So now I have nothing but time. And you know what the great thing about this is? They would have never let me do this on IBC. Oh, 7 to 10 minutes and then move on. Here, we can spend hours. Be careful what you wish for. All you guys who sent all those emails and phone calls demanding I get fired over the years, you got your wish. You got your wish. Now this is the result of it. So one of the things that has been baffling is that no one is still calling for any sort of formal investigation into Diego. Even though they've admitted in the case of Todd Rokita, scandals plural. How could the Attorney General say that the Secretary of State has so many scandals that he withdraws his endorsement, but not call the Attorney General is the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Indiana? But you notice no call for any actual investigation. Someone should ask Todd Rokita why. Be sure to tell him Rob wants to know. He'll love that. And so there was an event last week, one of these numerous events where people have, invite delegates to their house. Their candidate of choice is there to speak, usually somebody in their corner, some power player, party boss, whatever, that they can get to introduce them, speak on their behalf. And then the person gets up and gives a speech, and afterwards they do hey, if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them after the event. And at this event, somebody in the audience, and by the way, I tell these guys all the time, when y'all flap your gums, just assume I'm in the room, because I'm always going to get the story. Somebody asked Max Engling after the event, would you be willing to call if you're elected? Will you be willing to say right now that if you're elected, you are going to ask for demand a formal investigation into Diego by Ryan Mears and the Inspector General? Not a gotcha question. It's not a ridiculous question. Max is running because Rokita and Banks said this guy had so many scandals and he was such a piece of crap that Engling said he had to get in the race. I mean, he's admitted it. The only reason he's running is Banks told him to go. Well, why did Banks tell him to go? Why did Banks unendorse Diego? It's not a gotcha question. It's a very valid question. And Engling said yes. He said, and you'll hear the audio here in just a second. Now, the audio, it's in a room full of people. So let me preface this by, you can hear it crystal clear. Jason's heard it. Abdul obviously heard it. Abdul put it in the cheat sheet. That's what broke these people, by the way, is Abdul putting in the cheat sheet. The source gave it to Abdul as well. Where this person asks Engling, would you be willing to demand that Ryan Mears, Inspector General, launch an investigation into Diego? And Engling says it here. And again, you have to listen closely. It's a room full of people. It's very obvious if you're near a speaker or whatever. That he says, well, I wouldn't want Ryan Mears because I don't trust him, but I would want an appointed investigator to look into Diego. And I heard this, and I'm like, great. So I put it out. I heard the audio, like I heard it myself. I said, great. Can you tell me more? Because I don't know what an appointed investigator means. That is the Inspector General. Do you mean the Inspector General? If it's not Ryan Mears, how do you intend to bypass Ryan Mears? Because a special prosecutor would have to be in. Why would Ryan Mears step aside? You can't just say, I don't want to use Ryan Mears. It's not like there's not like a bullpen. It's not the Major League Baseball where you go to the bullpen. The alleged crimes would have been committed, or the alleged ethics violations, or the alleged corruption would have taken place in Marion County. Ryan Mears is the Marion County prosecutor. So what do you mean you want a special investigator appointed? Well, that's all I put out. I said, tell me more about this. I was like, hey, this guy's going to win some votes on this. And the Engling people went ballistic. He didn't say that. Like, I have the audio. What do you mean he didn't say it? I've listened to it. I've seen the video associated with it. There is video, by the way. It's like, why are you people getting pissed off? And I kept saying to these people, they were like, you're just here to cause trouble. Well, I am here to cause trouble, but in this case, I have the audio. Why would that be me causing trouble? He said it. Nuh-uh. And I kept saying, ask him. Just ask him. You were at the event. Ask him. If he says he didn't say it, then we'll have a big problem, but maybe he'll admit that he said it, and they wouldn't do it. And I'm sitting here going, these people are freaking out over the idea that Diego might get investigated. Why are they freaking out? He didn't say anything controversial, unless, of course, you don't want Diego investigated. He didn't say anything out of line, unless, of course, you don't want Diego held accountable. So we're going to play you the audio. Again, it's a crowded room. There's people in the background. You can hear it very, very clear. As Abdul pointed out, Jason's heard it. But here's the audio of Max Engling being asked and then saying he would not want Ryan Mears, but he would want an appointed special investigator.
So here's the hard part. I don't trust Ryan Mears at all. So, that in general. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you could do an investigation. And even if I think it would be better if we had a financial investigation investigated something that was pointed to me, rather than asking Ryan Muir, just because I know I don't trust him as far as I can trust. But I do think it needs to be investigated.
All right. We can play it again if people want. I don't know. It would be good to play it again. I mean, again, the audio is a little, like I said, a little rough, but you can clearly hear him say it. We'll play it one more time. That way people are like, oh, I was trying to hear whatever. Here, take a listen.
So here's the hard part. I don't trust Ryan Mears at all. So, that in general. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you could do an investigation. And even if I think it would be better served if we had a special investigator or something that was pointed to me, rather than asking Ryan Muir, just because I know I don't trust him as far as I can trust. But I do think it needs to be investigated.
So the obvious question has to be, he says it plain as day, why would that be controversial? Why would people adamantly be just outraged that I said that? Why would they be so adamant? No, he didn't. Why wouldn't they be like, I hope he did say it. Let me go ask him. I'll get back to you. I didn't hear him say it, but if he did, that's awesome. The Republican Party knows what Diego is. They know what he's done. They know what he's been all about. And the Republican Party knows they are connected to all of it. If by no other reason, an unwillingness to do anything about it. Silence. Not only were they silent, they went at people like me when I would point it out. And that's because the Republican Party is not about you. They're not about governing for you. They're not about creating government that works for you. They're about government that keeps them in power. And in order to do that, they need money. And Diego, and again, you guys can look this up. You know what we ought to do? We ought to have Indie Reporter come in and ask him to talk about, because nobody knows the Diego money better than Indie Reporter. I think I'm going to ask Steven later today to do that. Because nobody knows the Diego money better than Indie Reporter. And I'm going to ask Indie Reporter to lay out to you how much of the Diego money crosses into these other people and who the people are that are giving. It's a lot, guys. And it's a different, in some cases, it's a different group of people. We'll just say that. How about that? It's a different group of people. It's a different money pool. And it's why I said it didn't surprise me that Diego didn't back out. I'm not sure with some of the people Diego's accepted money from that he can back out. You know, like in The Sopranos when they'd get in debt to the family, you do something and you'd get in debt. Once you have to start doing favors, I don't think you ever get to stop doing the favors. I don't know this for sure. I don't have any idea. But I don't know if Diego had an option to get out. The Republican Party is to blame for Diego Morales. They own him. He's their creation. He may be the monster, but they're Dr. Frankenstein. Everything that's going on right now, the Republicans deserve. I hope it costs them the office. I hope it is so bad that people are sick enough that not only does it cost them the office, but it also allows Greg Ballard to get the 10% to form a new political party with primary ballot access. So Republicans can be punished for years. Think about it for years about what they've done. You know, like when I was a kid, I was pretty well behaved. But there were like two types of punishment that I would get. There was like, go to your room. And then my mom would kind of forget she sent me to my room. And I ended up just playing Nintendo for, an hour or two, and then she'd remember I was up there. You better not be playing your Nintendo! There was that punishment, which was like you're kind of in trouble, but not like super in trouble. You just did something kind of bad. And then there was you're grounded for a week. And when you were grounded for a week, it was always, you better sit up there and think about what you've done. And my parents would come check on me. They would check to make sure I wasn't playing the Nintendo. That was big punishment because you needed to every day think about now that didn't happen very often. I was a pretty well-behaved kid. I'm a notorious rule follower. But there were two types of punishment. And in this case, the Republicans need the punishment where they have to sit every day and think about what they did for the next 4 years. Diego's that bad. Diego is that bad, and he's brazenly that bad. Simply if you're a voter this fall, simply letting these guys insert Max Engling into his place, not good enough. And look, I like Shelton. I think Shelton's a hell of a nice guy, and he's very competent. But even putting Shelton in at this point, not punishment enough. Because then they keep the office. And yeah, they don't really like Shelton. They can't control Shelton. But they probably think they can get their fangs into him, and he's a Republican. So they probably think there's a limit to what he'll expose. We need the whole thing exposed. And look, here's the thing I know about Bai. He ain't doing this just to be the Secretary of State. By the way, we're going to buy in on Thursday, taping on Wednesday. This isn't about, like, Bo Bai didn't wake up and go, when I grow up, I'd like to be the Secretary of State. This is about the next thing. Now, I'm all for him getting in there because he needs to expose everything. And the fastest way for that dude to become a governor or senator or whatever his next step is to take down the party. And you guys know we've only scratched the surface on the crap Diego's pulled. And the only way to do it and expose it and make the Republicans go to their room for a week and think about what they've done is to lose that office. And for 4 years, have that Lincoln Party disrupting every office they run for. Governor, senator, Congress, Statehouse. These guys have screwed us for 2 decades. Aren't you sick of it? Haven't you had enough? Isn't it time to finally punish these people? And the only way to properly punish them is to make sure they not only lose the office, but make sure for the next 4 years, they got to sit around and think about what they did because they all enabled Diego Morales. And they're still doing it by not holding him accountable. They're still doing it by not demanding an investigation. They're still doing it by trying to sweep him under the rug. We deserve justice. We, the people who spoke out. We have an opportunity to get it this fall. We have an opportunity to get it. Hey, guys, Father's Day is Sunday. And if you're thinking about doing something a little different for Dad, how about the brunch buffet at the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro in Brazil? They're going all out this year. I got to see Andy and Jody. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I met the judge yesterday, Linda Cheatham. I met the judge. She's awesome. She was with Andy and Jody. She's great. I told her, I said, you have to come on our show. And I think I got her. I think I got her the green to do it. She's a very humble person. But the judge was awesome. She's even cooler in person than she sounded on the internet. But Andy and Jody, they're going all out this Sunday at the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro. Listen to this Father's Day brunch buffet. If you want to do something different for Dad, if you're like, man, how many times can we get Dad a tie or socks or whatever? Fried Atlantic cod, pork burger sliders, pasta salad, corn on the cob, kickin' baked beans, Dolly's potato salad, peach cobbler a la mode, and a non-alcoholic drink. Do something different for Dad this Father's Day. The brunch buffet, Honeysuckle Hill Bistro. Now, you got to reserve your spot. You can't just show up. Call today, 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003. I know we had several people who went to the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro over the last couple of days. Outstanding. They were raving about it, how great it was. They don't disappoint. On the water in Brazil, scenic view, outdoor seating. Weather's supposed to be good this weekend. Take Dad out. A little bit of a drive, right down 40, totally worth it. Get out of the way. 812-443-3003, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro Father's Day Brunch Buffet. All right. That was an hour and 20 minutes of awesomeness. That was great. What's the old guy doing on the other station? All right, we'll take a break. We'll get into the Iran stuff. We'll play the J.D. Vance audio. There's actually an explanation of what nuclear enrichment is, which was fascinating to me. I'm sure I'm like one of 10 people that care about that. But like when they always talk about, they're enriching uranium. They're making it for nuclear weapons. What are they doing? Fox News actually had a fascinating explanation. What is this deal? Can we count on it? We'll get into it when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show. Do you have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use, in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606 or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Mention the Rob Kendall Show and get $200 off a new installation.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. Thanks for spending it with us. A couple of housekeeping items before we talk a little bit about this Iran peace deal. I guess that's what we'll call it. Don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, hit the little thumbs up. Like our show. It really helps us grow the program. We call it like, share, and subscribe. 3 ways that you can totally help us grow the Rob Kendall Show. And by the way, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or iHeart or all our on-demand platforms, welcome to you as well. We really appreciate you guys. You don't get near the love sometimes that our YouTube chatters do just because it's live and we can interact with them as it's going on. But we so appreciate you wherever you're joining us from to check out the Rob Kendall Show. Tell you about our friends at Seal Now, and then we're going to talk about all the stuff that broke with Iran late last night. Hey, is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salts, environmental buildup, like mold and dirt, can all cause unsightly damage that can add up to an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. They're the clean, seal, and stain professionals. Here's what they do. If you got a driveway, you got a sidewalk, you got a patio, it's concrete, it's cracked, it's falling apart, it's broken, they'll put it back together for you. You can go from the black eye of the neighborhood to the envy of the neighborhood. And they do more than just concrete. They also do wood. So your decks, your fences, your pergolas, any outdoor wood or concrete structure, Seal Now, the clean, seal, and stain professionals, can bring it back to life. Check out their work at sealnow.com, SEALNOW.com. And while you're there, you can get a free, no hassle, no obligation quote estimate. Know what your project's going to cost, and if you mention that you got hooked on to Seal Now by the Rob Kendall Show, you heard about them on the Rob Kendall Show, they're going to take an incredible 20% off any long-term sealing project. 20% off any long-term sealing project just by simply saying, hey, I heard about you on the Rob Kendall Show. Seal Now, SEALNOW.com. All right, so last night It was announced by the president. News started to break out. This about 6 p.m. that there was a deal with the Iranians. Now, I think this was deal number 7, 8. I don't know which one we're on at this point. See, the problem is Trump had said so many times we're so close or it's happening, and it didn't happen. I'm counting all those. But he said, okay, we're done. We got a deal. And by the way, I'm working off an article from The Hill and the New York Times, but obviously every publication has given most of this information out. Here's what Trump wrote on Truth social media, because I have questions. The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete. Congratulations to all. They'd want a fruit basket or something. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz and simultaneously herewith authorize the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade. Ships of the world, start your engines. Let the oil flow! ! Okay. Here's the first question that I have, because nobody's actually seen the deal yet, at least as of us starting this show. A senior Iranian official told Reuters that the final draft of a memorandum of understanding calls for the U.S. to refrain from imposing new sanctions on Iran until after a final deal is reached and release $25 billion of frozen Iranian assets. I got questions. And primarily among them, look, I'm not saying these to be facetious. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. Like, this is a genuine question that I have. Trump spent years ripping on Obama for giving the Iranians $1.7 billion. But he's going to give them $25 billion. Nah, it ain't. No. It ain't theirs if you're involved in international terrorism. It ain't. No. Jason tried to say it's theirs. No. When you're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, you get nothing. I thought that was part of the dealio. All the U.S. interest, all the U.S. allies, all the U.S. servicemen, all the people who'd been killed. I thought that's what this was about. They're the world's largest state sponsor of terror, and you ripped them for $1.7 billion, and now you're giving them access to $25 billion. I'm going to need more info on that. Oh, thank you, Jason. Will give it to me later. During the YouTube chat, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. Stick around for that. By the way, did you guys know, if you're new, welcome. At the end of every show, producer Jason reads the best YouTube comments of the day. All you got to do to be a YouTube commenter, to be a star on this program potentially, is be a subscriber. So if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel. The official also told Reuters that under the draft agreement, Tehran would agree to neither produce nor acquire nuclear weapons and refrain from further uranium enrichment and expansion of its nuclear facilities. Okay, look, again, I'm by no means an Iranian expert, but haven't we done this before? Hasn't that always sort of been a part of the deal, like curbing Iran's nuclear engagement? Haven't we heard this before? Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like every deal we've ever done with these people was about them curtailing or cutting back or stopping nuclear enrichment. The Islamic Republic would also reportedly be able to dilute its stockpile of highly enriched uranium on its own soil under a future comprehensive agreement. All right, before we do this, let's play J.D. Vance. So J.D. Vance was on Fox, and then I want to get to why I got real questions. And so does Lindsey Graham, by the way. You can't just say Rob's being an ass. Lindsey Graham is the biggest Trump fan in the world, and he got questions too. Let's play J.D. Vance on Fox News right after the news came down that this was this agreement was going to be signed, and here's what he had to say.
Well, first of all, I think it's a big moment for the United States of America. Thanks, of course, to the president's leadership and the hard work of the entire team. Three things that I think are important for the American people just to appreciate about what this deal does for all of us as Americans. Number one, this is the immediate opening of the Straits of Hormuz and, of course, the lifting of the naval blockade that we've had on Iran along with it. The number two thing that it means is that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, and not just pursue a nuclear weapon, weapon, but procure or try to buy a nuclear weapon as well. That's built into this agreement. And then the third thing is, and this only happens, to be clear, if Iran delivers on their promise. And so there's an approach here where we verify and where there are real benefits so long as Iran meets their end of the obligation. But if the Iranians comply with this deal, it is going to fundamentally transform the Middle East for the next 50 years. It's going to end the war. It's going to make the Middle East more investable. It's going to mean a lot of prosperity, lower energy prices for the American people. This region of the world has been a basket case for my entire life and longer than that. And what the president has really set us to do is to certainly eliminate the nuclear threat of Iran. That's done. But now possibly to build to a new era of Middle East prosperity and success, where it's not a region of the world where the United States has to worry about so much, but where, frankly, we can generate a lot of prosperity for the American people out of that region. That's a very, very big win, and it all happened because the president stuck with it.
Okay, that was Vice President J.D. Vance. Now, this brings me to many questions, obviously. And look, I don't think it makes the media bad for asking questions. If you're going to put out, we got a deal, and then it's a week before you sign the deal, and you don't get to see the deal, asking questions about the deal. I don't think that makes you bad. And that's what we can do right now. As things start to leak out or whatever, right? We won't know until the final deal is in place. Well, why don't we do this? We've got one other piece of audio, because then I want to get into where I think this deal is going to go sideways. So let's play this other piece of audio we have, which was fascinating to me, because I've heard for years about the enrichment of uranium and the nuclear grade uranium and all. Like, it's foreign. But Trey Yingst, he's one of the lead foreign correspondents for Fox News, was asked about this, and he actually went into how the uranium stuff works and how this deal is supposedly going to stop them from doing it. I thought this was super interesting. Take a listen.
During the Obama administration, it allowed Iran to continue enriching uranium. And the way that uranium is enriched, the uranium ore is actually extracted from the ground, and then through a chemical process, it turns into yellow cake. And then another chemical process, it turns into hexafluoride gas. And they spin that gas very rapidly in advanced centrifuges. And ultimately, the heavier particles go to the outside, and the lighter ones stay in the middle. And this is repeated over and over again until you get to a higher purity of enriched uranium. And to take enriched uranium from, let's say, 5 to 10% to 20%, ultimately to 60%, and eventually 90%, which is weapons-grade material, can be a matter of weeks, if not days. And so allowing the Iranians to keep advanced centrifuges and then enrich uranium, eventually closer to weapons-grade material, set them on a path toward a weapon, because that is a process that is needed to create a nuclear weapon, even if they weren't doing it at that moment. This agreement does not allow the Iranians, according to the senior administration official, to keep any of their enriched material.
All right, look, I thought that was super interesting because, and I'm sure you guys may be the same way. You hear about this nuclear uranium, rich uranium. Trey Yingst there from Fox News laying out like exactly what would be different about this. But that's not what has me concerned about the deal. One, has me concerned about the money. These guys getting the money. Because I think you can trust these people as far as you can throw them. But here's the other part where I think this deal is going to go sideways. And just give me a moment to walk into this. So according to The Hill, the Pakistani prime minister said that under the deal, both sides, quote, have declared an immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Because that is referring to the Israeli military operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon. I give that about a week, guys. If this deal is tied to Israel in any shape, form, or fashion, especially Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, I don't see any way this deal is going to stand. And I don't see how Trump and the American government thought there was any way this deal was going to stand. Israel has said they're not stopping when it relates to Hezbollah. They're not stopping when it comes to Lebanon. Now, all of a sudden, they're just going to stop? I don't believe that for a second. By the way, Trump told Axios, and he said this on the record, that Netanyahu has, quote, no effing judgment, except he said the word, with regards to ending the war after Israel fired on Beirut, on the Beirut suburbs, against Hezbollah on Sunday. This is as the deal was coming down. See, this is my point. Israel knew the deal was imminent. They knew the deal was coming down, and they were still attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now, look, I'm not necessarily mad about it, but I'm saying if the whole deal depends on not only the United States and Iran, but also Israel and Hezbollah, which obviously Hezbollah is funded by Iran, hence the world's largest state sponsor of terror. Trump told Axios the attack on Beirut had, quote, pissed me off very much. We'll steal that. What do you think about Diego Morales? He has, quote, pissed me off very much. So, literally for this thing to stand and everything to go forward, Strait of Hormuz, the money going to Iran, the destruction of the weapons-grade uranium, all of this stuff hinges on Israel not going back into Lebanon, starting fighting again in Lebanon. Do any of you people think that's going to last? Do any of you people think there's a remote chance that for 10 seconds, Israel and Hezbollah are not going to get back involved in a conflict sometime soon? And so what happens? You know, these guys launch rockets back and forth at each other. Hezbollah launches rockets at Israel. Israel goes in and pushes them back. Is that the end of the deal? Does Israel have to permanently not engage with Hezbollah in Lebanon? I mean, Israel basically threw cold water on the deal as soon as it came down. According to The Hill, Israel Defense Minister Israel Katz, in a Monday statement, described the deal between Iran and the U.S. as one that was, quote, negotiated out of a view of American interest. Oh, if that dude had said that, I would have looked right at him and said, good luck, you're on your own permanently. No kidding, it was negotiated in American interest. We pay for everything. Why wouldn't the American government negotiate on American interest? See, and this is the problem, and this is what people like me have talked about for years. There are some people in the media who believe blank check for Israel, whatever they want to do. All Israel all the time. Whatever they do, we got to back them, and if you don't, you're anti-Semite. There are some people that are a little more measured, but there are some people that are absolute. If you do anything against Israel, if you in any way oppose Israel, they'll call you an anti-Semite. There are some people who believe in the staunch defense of Israel. They won't go as far as to call you an anti-Semite, but they act like you're crazy if you push back on any defense of Israel, on any backing of Israel. And our government, especially under Trump, has emboldened Israel to think they can do whatever they want to do and we'll stand behind them. I mean, think about it. It played out yesterday. They knew the deal was imminent, and they're still fighting with Hezbollah. Trump referenced it specifically. The only reason you would do that is you believe no matter what we do, we're not going to be held to account. The U.S. is going to stay behind us, and we'll be able to do whatever we want to do. It's the only reason you do that. Quote, the IDF will continue to defend our borders and our citizens from the peak Mount Hermon, the mountains of Lebanon, the areas around our land in the Samaria region, and most of the territory of Gaza, against the threats posed by jihadist forces and organizations as a central lesson from the events of October 7th, Katz wrote. Okay, I'm not mad about that. But how do you square that with, according to the Pakistani Prime Minister, the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon? How do you square that? You know Hezbollah is not going to stop. You know they're going to be like, okay, you got us. Done. And they're not going to hold hands and sing, we are the world. So how do you square that? When Israel decides it's going to re-engage in its fighting against Hezbollah, is the deal off? Is it over with? Why would any person think that that deal is going to hold for any sustained length of time? Lindsey Graham, who's one of the biggest Trump supporters out there, was not buying it. He said, quote, I am somewhat concerned that Iran's view of the agreement seems different than what the American negotiating team is claiming. The fascinating thing about all of this is the agreement is going to have to go to the Congress. Isn't it wild? Trump can basically engage in war without the Congress, but the actual agreement for peace because of the war has to go to the Congress? With the razor-thin margins and the war hawks that exist inside the Republican Party, they may not be able to get this agreement ratified. I don't know. And the fact that we haven't seen all of the agreement yet, at least as of the beginning of this program, tells you that we may be in for a very long slog on this. Normally these things get ratified, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Hey, selling your home is a massive transition, and it can feel overwhelming. Lauren Wilson believes you deserve a real estate experience that is as personal as the home you're selling. When you work with Lauren Wilson, you aren't being handed off to a different assistant every time. You're working with her, and she is a bulldog. By the way, speaking of which, coming up here in just a few moments, we're going to hear from Lauren Wilson. She's got incredible data on how crazy. You guys know I love real estate. Like, I'm fascinated with homes, buying and selling. It's like the ultimate game of strategy to me. Like, I'm fascinated with real estate trends. And Indianapolis is insane right now. Like, literally, it's street by street, zip code by zip code on whether you should buy or sell your house. And she's going to have all the data with us. And Lauren Wilson, she's a nerd too. She loves all this stuff. She's an advocate. She's a bulldog. She would love the opportunity to get to know you, to meet you, to fight for you. And you may hear something coming up here in just a few moments. You're like, now may be a good time to sell my house. It may be. Lauren Wilson, realtor with Ad Properties. You're going to hear from her next. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this wild real estate market. I geek out for this stuff, guys. I think it's so interesting. I love to just scour the websites to see what properties are selling for. And it's insane right now. You may learn something very valuable. And then we'll have our third hour after that, brought to you by John Rust. We got so much to get to. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Did you know Honeysuckle Hill in Brazil offers more than just a fabulous made-from-scratch meal at the bistro? It also has an adjoining cottage, great for a perfect, relaxing weekend away with a scenic waterfront view. The cottage offers 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with spa-like tile showers, full kitchen, living room with fireplace, laundry facilities, and a full deck overlooking the lake. And Andy, one of the owners, delivers breakfast in a picnic basket at 8:30 each morning. Plan the perfect weekend away at the scenic Honeysuckle Hill property on the water in beautiful Brazil. Book today by visiting their website at honeysucklehillb.com.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. The real estate market in central Indiana is crazy right now, and I'm fascinated by real estate. I think it's an interesting insight into human behavior, and we got a pro. We got a gal. You know her. Lauren Wilson, realtor with Ad Properties, fine sponsor of the Rob Kendall Show. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
You and I, we were being a couple cackling hens the other day. We were shooting the breeze, and you're like, you don't even understand how weird the real estate market is right now, which is why people need a trained professional when they sell their home. But you were like, no. You don't even understand. It's not even city by city. It's like city block by city block, right? Like,
Yes.
Tell us what's going on.
Well, I think everyone that listens to the show is more they're more interested in what's happening in central Indiana. Let's not go on a national level,
Right.
right? Because we don't live nationally. We want to know what's happening here.
That's right.
So I took a deeper dive. I've got some great resources from a website, Inman, and what we're looking at is it is zip code specific. And I know this myself firsthand because I have listings in several zip codes that are all performing very differently.
Give me an example.
Okay, so if we are taking the Eagle Creek, like 46254,
Right.
if we look at that zip code area, they're at 105% increase of homes on the market.
Okay, so there's okay. Increase on homes on the market is good if you're a buyer. It's bad if you're a seller, right?
100%.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Make sure I understand that. Public
Well-
school education. Right? So because you
Yes.
the amount of inventory means you got more leverage if you're a buyer.
100%. So someone in that area is going to think, okay, this is more of a buyer's market, right? I've got options, I have opportunities, I have negotiating power. Whereas if we look at other zip codes, your favorite, right? Carmel.
Oh, no.
46033. Let's
Yeah.
just dial into that because there's lots of zip codes in Carmel. They're at a negative 65 deficit. And
What
so
does that mean? What's a negative 65 mean?
it means that there's a housing shortage. So it is making everything so much tighter.
Oh, like people want homes and they can't get them.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Why
So-
does everybody want to move to Carmel? The taxes are so high in Carmel. They have like 9 school referendums. Why does everybody want to be there? That reflexive pool cannot be that great.
You know it is. Well, school districts speak to a lot, right?
Is that it?
So
Is
it
that
is.
the primary driver when you buy and sell a home?
It is. It's one of the main questions. So even if I have someone that doesn't necessarily have a family, we talk about resale down the road. We're looking at school districts. People move for the school districts, even if they don't necessarily have children or
That's
school
interesting.
aged. They're going to resell at some point, right? We love to think that it's our forever home, but
Yeah.
it doesn't end up being a forever home.
What sort of percentage of people, now I say this as in like my old man did buy a house 40 years ago and still lives in it.
I
But-
love that for him.
Well, yeah, it was great for him. Yeah. He got a mortgage at like 2%, you know, it's
Oh.
fabulous. But what's percentage of people do never move? Have you ever done any deep dive on that? Like what percentage of people would buy a house and be like, that's it, we're
To-
never moving?
To be honest, there are statistics around it. I should probably take a deeper dive.
That would
to
be
see-
fascinating.
Yes.
Next time you come back,
okay.
I want to know.
That's going to be our next
It's got to be like
conversation.
1% of the population who never moves.
I know. Well, and now they're looking at averagely, I believe it's, gosh, I think it's like 8 years that they're in a home.
On average.
Yes.
Is that because because of COVID?
Probably more of my age, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm telling my real age right now.
Yeah,
So
29.
40.
Oh, good for you. You've done very well. But I mean, but are people staying at homes longer because of the rates they got during COVID?
Yes. However, though, you got to think people just panicked purchased. That's
Yeah.
what I called it. I mean, they just panic purchased. And so their jobs were remote. They could work from home. A lot of those jobs are being brought back in-house,
Yeah,
right?
you
They
gotta go
needed
back to work.
They have to go back.
Yeah.
So a lot of moving has happened because of that. And it's hard to sacrifice that interest rate. It really is. So what we've seen in the market, because of where our interest rates are now, where they've just been kind of sitting at, and they're not really expecting them to come down below 6, even for the rest of this year, is projections of still staying in 6. So people are moving with purpose, but that's because, pandemic, they were able to get at such a low interest rate, but now their families have grown. They need more space. They need to be closer to their job, and they're having to forego that beautiful 2% rate and now purchasing where we're at today.
I want to come back to the homes in a second.
Yep.
But I think you can help me with something. I've had a little problem with the assessor's office. Okay. In which, every year I'm the guy that, and I encourage everybody to do this, right?
Yes.
Like just because the government says your house is worth something doesn't mean it is.
I 100% agree.
I do the review. If I
Mhm.
believe everybody's in line, then I'm mostly okay. My neighbor, who has the same house the same year, their lot's a little bit bigger. Their house is a little bit bigger. $18,000 less appraisal. I call over for the informal review. They're like, that does look a little bit off.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm calling you. And they're going through it. Well, that could be good for an appeal. I was like, well, you did the assessment.
Yes.
You assessed, or not maybe you who I'm talking to, but the person who did.
Right.
Could you reach out to them? No, you're going to have to appeal that.
Yes.
But aren't the appeals people going to reach back out to you and just ask what I'm at? Like, I'm trying to save you time.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me some answer, I'm great. I'll go home. No, I really don't see an answer here. So I have to appeal, wait. They're going to come back to you. Then you have to find the answer that I'm asking you to find right now.
Yes.
Am I just being a colossal jerk about all of this?
No, real estate has worked backwards from day one. I mean, come on. The whole process is so backwards.
Okay.
I mean, however, the appeals are up. The appeals, there have been so many more conversations because people are tired of their property taxes just skyrocketing. You know, they're going to do something about it. So the appeals process, I mean, we just sent an email out to our whole database and gave them resources on where you appeal, how you do it.
Yeah.
Now, the deadline is
15th?
Yes.
Today?
Oh,
Today
it's
when
today
this
the
airs?
15th? Okay,
Yeah,
today's...
you better go.
Oh my gosh, you better go. But there is the appeal process. But it's amazing to see how many people don't do it, but it's going to be interesting to see how many people are going to finally do it.
Well, they sent me an email.
I did my own.
Oh, I did too.
I appealed.
Yeah, and I just put on the form because I said, look, I called and asked.
Mhm.
The lady's like, this looks off. I was like, great, we agree.
Yes.
Can you just tell me no? So I don't have any data to give you other than the guy across the street that has a bigger house and a bigger lot and the houses were built the same year has an $18,000 higher or lower assessed value than me. And she said to call. That's my appeal.
Yes. Well, and
that's crazy, right?
What we encouraged was just to talk with a real estate agent, have them help you with like a comp. So I had a few of my clients reach out to me, say, hey, can you give me some comps? But not everybody thinks to go to a real estate agent.
Right.
You know
So
what I mean?
they
For
could
that.
do that.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, deadline's today, so you better be calling.
What? Because now I got to go in front of a board, right? At some point,
Mm.
right? Isn't that what you do when you appeal? Don't they make you go talk in front of a group of
This
people?
is the first time that I'm appealing ours.
Yeah.
I probably should have paid more attention to it before. So I guess I'll be doing the same
We'll do it
process
together.
you're doing.
We'll just
Yes.
go together.
Yes.
We either sink or swim.
I mean, I'm in Hendricks County.
You're
so.
in the business and you don't understand it either. See, this is my point.
Oh my gosh.
That's how crazy it is.
Yes. And we lean on the title companies when it comes to these like assessed value. I mean, it is the most mind-boggling process as to how they get to that. And I think that's why we're going to see so many appeals.
All right, let's go back to real estate. School districts are driving availability of properties. Is that the major thing? Is that the biggest thing?
That's going to be the biggest thing.
Okay. Let's talk about strategy if you're thinking about buying, thinking about selling. Where are some of the places? I know you mentioned Carmel. Are there some other places where you're like, hey, if you got a house in this area, now might be a great time for you to do that?
Avon is actually becoming...
Avon?
Don't even.
Avon? Have you been to You're from Plainfield. You've been to Avon.
I know, but hey.
That place is a nightmare.
Listen, it's you think Carmel's a nightmare.
Well, so is Brownsburg, in fairness, right? But
yes.
Avon?
Yes.
What is it? Is there a reason? I mean, like, is it like
school districts?
That's
Again,
it.
You've got to go with the different ratings. You got to go with the growth in the town, right? And you've got to see what the city, what's coming with it. So just like Carmel, we're always seeing expansion there. We're seeing growth, and that's the reason why people they go there to move, and that's why there's such a deficit in Carmel. There's not enough. I mean, there's your housing shortage inventory if we're talking about it. You know what I mean?
Have these people been on 36? Have they driven Rockville Road? And now isn't it supposed to all be shut down?
Yeah, it's like under construction. I just take so many detours. I don't even know where I'm at.
Any sense? Where are all these people coming from? Are they outsiders? Like, when you're buying and selling, when you sell a home for someone, do you get to know the other people that are buying it, or are you just like, none of my business?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, I personally, take a look at, are they coming from out of state? I mean, right now.
That's my question. Are most of these people coming from out of state? Or are they people moving around in Indiana?
I would say it's both.
Yeah.
I've actually had my last 2 listings where they were from out of state and job relocation. So the job was bringing them here to Indiana. And actually one of them is Avon. The one you love.
But it's so bad. Well, so is Dan. They're all bad.
Listen, they're all bad.
I gotta get.
Why aren't you living in the country around nobody?
I gotta get to North Salem. If I could.
Oh, I love North Salem.
You know how in the olden days they were like, if I could just make it to the West Coast, if I can get on my horse and my covered wagon and make it to if I could just make it to North Salem, everything will be fine.
North Salem still has old-fashioned days.
They do, right?
I know you probably go to that celebration.
They'll ruin North Salem in my lifetime. You watch.
Hey, they are not. I have loved that when I've driven to North Salem, you don't see any of that farmland being picked up for purchase,
Yeah,
right?
really?
I've been very impressed. I've been very happy to see that so far. I have no idea if there's plans in the future, right? But as I drive there and I see it's still farmland and I don't see any type of, housing
How
production.
hard would it be to just build a house in the woods? Like, could I just buy a few acres of
Oh, it's
trees?
not.
I gotta run some electrical lines or something, right?
Well, I mean, your site. I love helping people find the lot.
Do you do that?
Oh yeah,
You're a lot
absolutely.
person.
hmm
Oh,
There's a lot of builders, but there's a lot of just the process of it isn't as daunting as what someone would think. There's steps to it, but when you break it down, it's not as overcomplicated as what somebody would think.
Because I've tried to convince my dad, because he's my neighbor, so I can't go until he would agree to go. We could just buy a big lot and then
Yep.
build like a commune or something.
Yes. Yeah, I sold some property out in Danville, and then the family's going to build together out there. I mean, we got to go through some permits in Hendricks County, so we'll see how well that process goes.
On it. We talk about this when we talk about your fabulous business, Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. Tell us what the strategy should be. Like, how does somebody go about, well, am I in a thriving neighborhood? What can my house sell for? Where do I want to move? Like, talk us through the process.
To be honest, you are so zip code specific. So if depending on where you live, you do want to talk to a real estate agent. You do want to get an idea as to what inventory is active. That's really your competition. And that's what I've been trying to drive home to people I've met with this year, is that our competition are those who are actively on the market right now. They're telling us how many days they've been on there. We get to look at the house to see how well prepared they are. And if you just don't come out shining like a star, you're just going to end up causing more stress for yourself. That's where I have stressed the planning, right? So if we look at zip code, so if we're in a zip code where we are up 105%, right, on inventory, and there's so many options, what are you going to do to stand out, right? That's where you put a plan in place. You've got to have marketing. You've got to have the house really prepared, and you got to go in some really competitive pricing.
And you also are great at sitting down with people and going, your house is worth this.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm very honest. I'm not there to disappoint you, and hopefully I can excite you. But either way, it's the honesty.
I told people the last time you were here to film your commercial, you told me that you talked someone out of selling a home.
I did.
And I said, like, I looked at her and I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Didn't you? I said, did that not cost you money? And you're like, it did.
Yeah, sure did.
But I think that says a lot that you're like, I'll cost myself money.
Yes.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, it just was too soon for them to sell. They've not lived in the home long enough, and they were honestly going to have to bring money to the table. Now, in their circumstance, they're able to keep it. They're able to actually rent it out, and it worked out. You know what I mean? It's not for that for everybody.
Yeah.
But if I can save them some time, they can come back to me in the future. I mean,
plus you're fun to hang out with. Like, a lot of these realtors are
am.
kind of stiff. They're kind of stuffy, right? You're fun. You can have fun with your real estate agent.
well, I mean, you're so much fun too, though.
Oh my gosh. You have no idea. Okay, I have one final question before I let you go. When people pull my house up, which just happens, right, when you're a public person, which is very odd, right? When I was an elected person, people used to send me anonymous mail to my house, which that was always a barrel of fun too.
Oh God, I'd want to read them.
I don't get that. I framed some of them. I had them for years before I moved. They were all very pleasant too, as you can imagine. My picture of my house on the internet has a Braun Beckwith sign in the front of it, and I don't want any part of that. Can I get somebody like on all these real estate sites to come take a new photo of my
Yes.
Who is that person? Like, I'm not selling my house, but can somebody just come so I can get a different photo on all of these websites?
It's the Google images that they're taking, and then they're not updating. So we need to get a new picture
That's
and
right.
then have Google update it.
Yeah. How do I
Yes.
do that? Do I just call the
We'll figure
head
that
of
out.
Google?
We'll figure that
As
out.
my real estate professional, I'm putting you in charge of
Yes.
that.
We got to change your photo.
If I just want the damn sign out of there. That's it. The house hasn't changed at all. All right. If people want to contact you, how can they do it?
You can just call or text me directly.
Gotta get the phone number.
317-590-2290.
Excellent. Lauren Wilson, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will
will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on The Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Is the inside of your house a total mess, like a complete dumpster fire? Call AJ's Picture Perfect Cleaning. When you walk into your house after using AJ's Picture Perfect Cleaning, you will see and smell the difference. They take great pride in their workers and treat your home like their own. All cleaners pass through a background check and drug screening. Call today and mention you heard about AJ's Picture Perfect Cleaning on The Rob Kendall Show, and you will get an incredible $50 off your first clean. AJ's Picture Perfect Cleaning serves all of Central Indiana. Book your appointment today by calling 317-530-8148. 317-530-8148.
If authentic wood-smoked barbecue is your thing, Double D's Barbecue in Clayton is the place for you. Owners Dennis and Tina Duncan, along with their son Garrett, are from Memphis. So when it comes to barbecue, they're not screwing around. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. All of Double D's food is cooked fresh daily, and it's all made from scratch. Double D's Barbecue, located at 40 and 39 in Clayton, is open all day Wednesday through Saturday, but get there early because once they're sold out, they're done. Check out the full menu, ribs, brisket, and more at ddbbq317.com.
Welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Here in just a moment. I can't believe I'm about to do this. I got to say something nice about Todd Young. Yikes. I debated whether I should do it or not. I said, look, you got to be fair. You got to be fair. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, you got a leaky chimney, water in the basement, cracks around the exterior of your home. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. Bramwell Mackay doesn't offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Your home is one of your biggest investments. Treat it that way. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, BramwellMackay.com, your masonry, foundation, and chimney specialist. All right, and by the way, third hour brought to you by John Rust. Thank you to John Rust, one of the great heroes of the Rob Kendall Show, bringing you this third hour, and he wants nothing in return other than you to have a fabulous time listening to our third hour. If you haven't done so yet, give us that little thumbs up button right there on the YouTube page. That thumbs up. And by the way, if you're on Apple, Spotify, any of those places, give us that 5-star review. Really helps. Subscribe to the channel, all the things, right? And don't forget, we've got less than 2 weeks to go until the live show, guys. Just a few tickets left to go. It's going to be a much smaller setting than what we had before. So if you want to join us, get your tickets now. June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club Event Center in Greenwood. Chance for us to say thank you to you guys for a fabulous... We're 15 weeks in. Is that right? Yeah. We're 15 weeks. Is this episode 75? Today's 75. Bam. And it's all because of you guys. And this is our way to say thanks. Let's have a good time. Get together. Enjoy an evening out. We'll try to wow you with our charm and general charisma. And then we can commiserate together. How about that? June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club Event Center in Greenwood. Get your tickets now. The link to the live show up at robkendallshow.com. robkendallshow.com. Get your tickets right there. Okay. So Todd Young sent out, well, a nonprofit sent out an emailer on Todd's behalf. This is the new thing, right? And we saw this in the Senate races, these nonprofit groups that can kind of play by different rules and have to disclose their donors, et cetera. And I think this group is one of those. They're called the Endless Frontier Innovation Fund. And they basically, it's a campaign ad for Todd Young, but it's issue-driven, as they like to say. And I got to say, I actually, and I got this at my house, I actually agree with Todd Young on the issue in question, and that is Todd Young wants to ban members of Congress from being able to buy and sell stocks. Now, this is interesting. I did not know this, and I'm going to have to look into it because, you know, as you probably know by now, just because somebody says something in a mailer, it don't make it true, right? Newsflash, people lie in mailers. But this claims Todd Young has never traded stocks in Congress, ever. It's interesting. And that he has authored, or he supports, the Stop Insider Trading Act to ban members of Congress from trading individual stock companies. Then they do the thing like go to Todd Young's Senate website and thank him. I was like, thank him for doing his job. Anywhere else, go to Walmart, thank the guy for stacking the Oreos. Go to the McDonald's, thank the guy for handing you the soda cup. These Congress people, they call Todd Young and thank him. Here's what the mailer says. Elected officials should serve the public, not their own stock portfolios. Members of Congress have access to briefings, policy discussions, and economic information that can affect individual companies and entire industries. That creates a serious conflict of interest when members of Congress are allowed to buy and sell individual company stocks. Bingo. It's insider trading. Members of Congress do stuff that if you or I did them, we'd go directly to federal prison. Like, these members of Congress do stuff infinitely worse than what Martha Stewart did. And yet, they're allowed to do it. Why are they allowed to do it? Because they write the rules. The United States Congress writes the rules specifically so that they can do things that if you or I did them, we'd go to federal prison, and they're allowed to do them. This is absolutely right. Members of Congress have access to briefings, policy discussions, and economic information that can affect individual companies and entire industries. Right. They craft the laws that help these entire industries, and they know when they're going to do it. They know. It's why so many people covet being in the Congress. It's why so many people go into Congress, regular people, and come out multimillionaires. They do it. They want the job. They spend millions of dollars, sometimes of their own money, because they can make a bunch of money off of it. They're allowed to do it. There's no ramification. And so I got to say on this one, whether he's doing it because he actually believes it, or he's doing it because he knows he's going to have some sort of tough primary challenge in 2 years. I'm with Spendingberg on this. I am with the Duke of Spendingberg, Todd Young, highest spending Republican in the U.S. Senate, on banning the ability of members of Congress to buy and sell stocks. He's 100% right on this. Absolutely. By the way, I was talking with somebody about this yesterday. I won't name the person, but I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, and they're not a fan of Young's. But they told me, they said, you know who's looking really good right now? Young. You know you don't hear anything from? Young. All this drama going on with Banksy and Rokita, Diego and Engling. You know you don't hear anything from? Todd Young. He's just like flying under the radar. And he's doing stuff like this that makes him look pretty damn good. Think about the system we live in, though, in which the people who make the rules, who have the ability to spend your money, get information before anybody else, and they have the ability to weaponize that on the stock market. And that's standard operating procedure right now in Washington, D.C. It's standard operating procedure in Washington, D.C. that people who make the rules and fund and create economic incentives for entire industries, who get information before anybody else on entire industries, and they can buy and sell those stocks. And it's like a question. It's a debate. It's a discussion about whether or not that should be allowed. The problem with government is people have figured out how to get rich in it. The idea of government, if you go back to the foundation of the country, was that people went out of a sense of obligation. They went largely kicking and screaming. They did the job to the best of their ability, and then they went back to the thing that they did before. The problem now is a lot of people don't do anything before. Politics is the job. Politics is their career. They don't have any skill set that would be applicable in the real world. And then once they get out of the politics, they become a lobbyist or an advisor. A lot of them are attorneys. And so you have what was the idea of public service was the idea of I do this thing well in the foundation of the country. I have this talent. And because I have this talent, it would probably be applicable in making good choices that will better the lives of everyone else. My experiences, my successes, my understandings bring a skill set to deciding issues that will ultimately result in better decisions. I don't really want to do it. Seems like kind of a thankless job. But I'm going to do it because I feel this calling to help others. And I'll do this for a short period of time. And then I'm moving on. That was how it was supposed to be. And very quickly into the process, people realized when you can vote for other people's money, when you can vote yourself other people's money, you can make a lot of money off other people's money. And it became just a bunch of career people who figure out how to get into the system and never get extracted out. Ultimately, that rests on us. Ultimately, it does. We vote for these people. We keep sending them back. We keep enabling them. There's not a politician farm. They didn't grow out of the ground. We vote for them. It's why I come back to talking about the Secretary of State's race. You have a choice this fall, whether it's Engling, Diego, whoever. And again, I like Dave Shelton, but you can't reward the Republican Party. You can't reward the Republican Party. They've abused you for years. They've taken advantage of you for years. They've belittled you for years. This is your chance to stand up for yourself. You may not like buy, but I mean, let's face it. If you were going to send the Republicans a message, the Secretary of State's office would be a good one to do it. One, it's super high profile. But two, the guy who runs the office or the girl who runs the office can't do anything without the express written consent of the General Assembly. If you were okay, this is the office we're going to send a message on. It has no financial authority other than the contracts they give out. They can't spend money other than what's delegated by the legislature. They're subservient to the General Assembly. If they're doing something inappropriate, this is what was so damn frustrating about Diego. The General Assembly had total control over Diego, and they kept emboldening him. They kept enabling him. All these politicians now who whine about Diego, if they're in the House and Senate, there's a good chance they voted for his stuff to fully fund him. None of it would have been possible without money allocated from the General Assembly. It's the hypocrisy of people like Andrew Ireland, who voted for the budget. And then they lament Diego's behavior. Well, why didn't you choke off the money? Any of these state reps and senators, other than there were one or two of them, I think, that voted against the budget, they're all guilty in it. They're all accountable for it. Guilt by association. Guilt by funding. And so, if you were going to send a message to the Republicans, the Secretary of State's office would be a great one to do. It's super high profile. It doesn't have any authority other than what's given to that person from the General Assembly. I mean, let's be honest. It would be really fun to watch Bai and the Republicans fight, right? I think it's a no-brainer. We've had enough. Look at how they treat us in Washington. Look at how they treat us here at home. We've had enough. We're not going to do it anymore. We're going to send a message on this office at this moment in time, and we tell the Republicans, if you don't get your act together, there'll be more of this message sending. Look, Bai wants to do other stuff, so he's not going to be radical about anything. He's not going to screw it up. Hey, get your lunch plans for the rest of the week. It's Monday. Wednesday will be here before you know it. And Wednesday through Saturday, Double D's Southern Barbecue in Clayton is open for business. Double D's Barbecue, Southern Barbecue, winner of best ribs. and best sauce at Ribfest in Hendricks County. Speaking of which, they're going to be at Ribfest coming up on Saturday. They're going to be at Ribfest the 27th, June the 27th. Ribfest in Hendricks County, Danville. They're also sponsoring, because they couldn't be at our live show, they're going to sponsor our live show. Got some stuff to tell you about that coming up here in a little bit. The restaurant's great. Every time you guys go, I love seeing the photos, the pictures, the accounts of how great the food was. The thing I hear most about, guys, is the service, how awesome the service is. The decor is awesome. It's Elvis-themed. If you're looking for something different this week, a little bit of a drive, totally worth it. Double D's, Southern Barbecue, Memphis, wood-smoked, authentic style barbecue. DDBBQ317 is the website. DDBBQ317.com is the website. Now, guys, coming up later this week, starting today, I'm going to record interviews with one delegate who has pledged to vote for all four of the candidates. So Rittenhour, Diego, Shelton, Engling. And I think you guys are going to be fascinated by this because these aren't politician people. In fact, they're like local people. Some of them have a local office they're a part of. But there's no big names, no people that you statewide recognize. And I'm going to ask them about their voting strategy. Like, how did you decide who your first choice was going to be? What went into it? What concerns did you have? What concerns you at the convention? And then I'm going to ask them, and I think this is the most interesting thing. What are you going to do if your person goes down? Who's your second choice? Do you have a second choice? Are you walking out? That's the fun about convention, is there's so many things that could take place. And oftentimes, ask Daniel Elliott a couple of years ago, just getting your people to stay around is how you win. Daniel Elliott won by 3 votes in the race for treasurer. I think it was the 3rd or 4th ballot. And his people stayed, and at least Nishala's people went home, and he got to be the treasurer. There's so much that goes into the convention, and there's so much beyond your control. And I think what these people talk about with like what they would do if their person goes down is going to be very interesting. Give us a little idea of how it might go. And I'm the perfect person to do these interviews because I got no favorites here. I ain't voting for whoever the person is, so it don't matter to me. I'm a fascinated observer in all of this. So that's coming up later this week. I think we're going to do that on Thursday. I'm putting the interviews together over the next couple days, and hopefully it'll give us some insight into how these people plan to vote at the Republican convention and how they may vote if their person goes down, because some of these people are going to have to make this choice, right? Somebody's going to be the first person out. Somebody's going to be the second person out. Where do these people go? How does it work? What do they do? All right, let's take our final break of the day. By the way, our third hour brought to you by John Russ. Thanks to John for now allowing us to bring you 3 hours of great local content you won't get anywhere else. When we come back, you guys love it. You become the star of the show. Producer Jason is going to read the best YouTube comments of the day. I'll respond to stuff. We'll hit on the topics we've covered today. It's a lot of fun. We're coming up next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties. I would love to get to know you. I know that buying and selling a home is a really big deal. You need a plan in place so you can succeed. And that's where I come in. If you are buying, let me help you find that perfect home. And if you are selling, let me help you find that perfect buyer. Look, we're all Rob Kendall Show fans here. That's why I'd love to get to know you. I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties, an Army veteran and a Hoosier through and through. Call me at 317-590-2290, 317-590-2290.
With a lakefront view in beautiful Brazil, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage is a little out of the way, but totally worth the trip. Down home, made from scratch food, just like the good old days at Grandma's. When you visit the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, you'll leave more at peace than when you came in. Open 5 to 8 for dinner on Friday and Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 1:30 for the buffet. You must experience the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage. Call 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Hope you're having a great Monday, man. What a cool show it's been so far today. If you missed that first hour, go back and listen. It was so good. It was so great. It was all about the Diego meltdown and the alleged Engling being allegedly on the adult friend finder site. No, this Secretary of State's race, it is disintegrating perfectly, exactly as the plan was laid out. The summer of Rob is in full effect. Here in just a moment, producer Jason going to join us with the best YouTube comments of the day. Before we do that, though, just heard from her a little bit ago. Lauren Wilson is a realtor with At Properties, and she would love to get to work for you. Lauren's local. She's a military vet. She's a Hoosier lifer. She knows the market. She knows the areas. As we laid out just a little bit ago, it is crazy right now in Indianapolis real estate. I'm fascinated by all of it. It literally depends on what zip code you're in. That's how wild it is. Some are on fire. Some are ice cold. You need a pro. You need a pro, and Lauren's great. Sometimes she just tells you not time to sell, unless you really want to sell, but she's great. Honest as the day is long, great friend of the show, great listener to the show, great supporter of the show. She's been with us basically since the beginning. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties, 317-590-2290, 317-590-2290. Support people that support the show. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. And with that, every day, we spend probably the final 30 minutes making you the star. I love the YouTube chat. I think you guys have great comments. It spurs conversation here. It gets me going on stuff that I hadn't thought about before, and it's all about community here on the Rob Kendall Show. All you got to do to be a part of our comments is subscribe to the channel. That's it. And then you're in. And each day, producer Jason finds the best comments of the day, reads them back to me, and it's brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. And hello, there is producer
That is
Jason.
correct, sir. How you doing today?
Great. Tell us about Black Sheep Plumbing.
All right, this chat brought to you, as always, by Black Sheep Plumbing. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. Black Sheep Plumbing can do the job at a fraction of the cost of the big guys, and maybe even better. Owner John McKinney is a Hoosier lifer, takes pride, and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. A few of you should just do that right now. Just text him and say, hey, John, thanks for supporting Rob. 765-315-7558, Black Sheep Plumbing.
Okay, question to you, because you're the producer.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing all these delegate interviews, which I think are going to be very interesting.
Very delicate.
Should we do delegate, not delicate?
Should we play on words there, Rob?
Should we do them all on the same day, or should I spread them out?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I think you probably should do them all on the same day. That way they're bang, 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 and you get one to the other to the other.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, spreading it out may be a little much.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you're doing them this week, right?
Yeah, I'm recording them today and tomorrow.
Well.
But I didn't know, when do we want to run them?
Yeah, since we got Gentry on tomorrow.
Yeah, Matt Gentry, the mayor of Lebanon, will be with us.
Coming back in the hot seat. And then Tuesday?
We got tomorrow. Gentry's airing tomorrow.
Okay.
Wednesday will be the Brownsburg school system. This is why I'll be like, what? They're going to be with us to talk about how you actually do your school funding without a referendum.
So is like the whole school board going to be here?
No, just the assistant superintendent.
Okay, well, hey.
Yeah, and he's the guy that...
an actual... employee of the Brownsburg School District.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how they have, all these school districts are doing these referendums. Brownsburg, statistically, the #1 school system in the state.
Hope he has tenure.
No referendum. and they it's a want to, and so they're going to lay out how they are doing theirs. And we're going to talk about some issues with the state funding the schools, because there are some major issues that we punish successful schools in our state, we reward underperforming schools. We'll talk about that. Then Thursday, Bai's going to be here with us, and then I don't know what we're doing.
Bo-Bai?
Yeah, Bo-Bai.
We should get Evan also.
We should get Evan. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot of questions for Evan. I
He's
think it'd
lived
be
an interesting life.
Yeah, I'm saying it's. I was young when he was governor, or whatever the hell he was, and when he lost for Senate, right?
You were a full grown ass man when he lost for Senate.
Right, I remember that. But I'm saying when he was governor and all that, I was youngster. So be interesting to see what he would have to say.
I bet he would
maybe
do that.
one day he would do that.
Yeah, I mean, he has an incentive to, right?
Well, he loves the show, I'm sure.
Probably our biggest fan.
I'm sure he's a big watcher.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. What
you
are we
know
doing?
how Barron got Don to watch all those podcasts, so I'm sure that Dad, you got to watch this Rob Kendall guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a huge
awesome.
fan.
Yeah,
no doubt.
All right, so we get started in the chat, and thank you so much, guys, for the chat. Brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. Yesterday, the first one in was Spray Jockey.
Okay, so for those of you who are like, what do you mean first one in? You have started setting the channel up.
I put a lot of pressure on the chatters, I think.
The night before, and then people get in there because we have such an awesome community. They just have their own chat the night before.
Ooh, McLovins is going to Chicago for the Cubs game.
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome, Wrigley. That's just going is the experience. And then you got the game. I don't know if the Cubs are any good or
they
not.
stink right now.
Well, okay, they're pretty typical then. But that's why they have Wrigleyville, because the Cubs are always so bad.
Yeah.
It still brings the people in. You still have a good time. And, oh, yeah, they suck. But, let's go down and have another beer.
Right.
There
you go.
That's the way you do it in Wrigleyville there, McLovin. So
when's the last time you
enjoy
went
it.
to a baseball game?
Would have been Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
Would have been, like we said last week, I used to help Brian Giffen, who was the the engineer, the broadcast engineer for the Atlanta Braves, and whenever he'd go to Wrigley, they used to be always so the building was, or the stadium was always so out of date that we had to push a cart of gear up, like the what do you call that, the handicap ramps, and there's like 15 ramps that you had to go up.
It's like going to Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Yeah, then they finally, I guess, put an elevator in, so he stopped inviting me.
Did he have to take that stuff down after each game? Or
No, you leave it up. You're in a booth, so you set it up. You get there early, you set it up, game one, and then if there's like a 3-game series or whatever it is, you're set up. Nobody can get in the booth. Well, I mean, nobody's going to go in there steal anything. But,
right.
And then you got to tear it all down and bring it all back down. And the tear down's worse because you got to do it real fast because they're on the bus ready to go, and you got to get the broadcaster stuff has to get on the bus.
Now, that would have been a perfect job for a single guy because of that per diem.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. He used to. He talked about how they would lobster steak dinners on the plane, and he would have like just a ton of Jack Daniels bottles, the little shooters or whatever. They'd walk by and hand him a handful, and he'd, I don't know how many he drank, but then he'd always have extra with him. And I'm sure he gained a few pounds there. Then he lost it again after he.
But they had like a per diem, right? So if you ate it right, like if you did it right, you could make.
Oh yeah, and that was a huge per diem. He stayed at the Westin hotels and everything, so it was pretty kick ass. But back to Spray Jockey, who was the first in the chat yesterday, because I did put this up on Saturday. He hopped in on Sunday, and then a bunch of the chatters hopped in, like Debbie Holcomb. 13 days, 4 hours, and 19 minutes to be exact, for the live show.
Get your tickets, robkendallshow.com. Few tickets left. It's a smaller setup than what we had last time, so don't get left out. A few tickets left. Get them, robkendallshow.com. I'll let you know when they're gone.
And then McLovins pointed out yesterday, 16 hours until we hear from the legend, Mr. Producer Daddy Jason, a.k.a. Belt Snapper. And then Spray Jockey pointed out McLovin trying to get mentioned tomorrow by Jason. Worked. All right, so this morning we start off with the old man back in
his top spot.
Yeah, back in his top spot for this morning. Happy Monday. I trust everyone had a great weekend. From the clips I saw Rob post, sure looks like he did. This is going to be another epic week. Good day, good start today.
That Diego meltdown was great.
And then on top of that, over the weekend, if you haven't seen it, I think I reposted it on Producer Jason on Facebook. Go to Producer Jason on Facebook. You'll see Shrog Sandwiches Diego illustration animated.
So this is
and
great.
That's awesome. It's just the best thing. Shrog, you're so talented. Her link is there as well.
So a guy by the name of Anthony Rubinacci. He's a prominent Republican in Vigo County. He's running for Vigo County Council. I think it's council he's running for this fall.
Mm-hmm.
He took that picture that Schrag made of Diego on his tippy toes yelling at me, I pay, and he somehow made it to where Diego is actually talking to me and I'm laughing at him. It's awesome.
It's great. I mean,
go to the producer Jason to see it. Go to the producer Jason Facebook page. Like his page.
Yep. Follow me so I don't look like a loser.
Yeah, and check it out. It's hilarious. It's great.
I've got over 100 followers. I'm feeling pretty good about that. If you're less than 100, nobody takes you serious.
You're a player.
Get to 100, it's like, well, people know who he is. You get to 200, that's pretty mega right there. Let's see if we can get that. All right, Pamela. Good morning, Pamela 4366. Good morning, Jason. Ellettsville. She's the one from Ellettsville. We were asking where Ellettsville was on Friday. She's pointing out Ellettsville is on the border of Bloomington, west side.
So I got it right.
Monroe County, like Bloomington.
Yeah, I said Southern Indiana.
All right. Kevin Branham back in it. Good morning, Rob and Jason.
Good morning. Hello.
I don't see any legend reference there, but that's okay. We'll let you go. I guess it's becoming old. All right. Never for me. But okay, C. Mills. Good morning, all. Another great week for some Robblehead madness. The 06010 board. Happy property tax appeal deadline day to all who celebrate.
Okay, so let's point that out, that today is your last day to be able to file your appeal. You can do it online. You can call your county assessor's office, either ask, hey, where's the link online? They should have it up there. Mine, they've got an actual virtual form you can fill out now. You don't have to print it out or anything anymore. And then you should get some sort of confirmation. If you got any questions, look, consult your trained professional, but I obviously appealed mine. The assessments are all screwed up. So screwed up, they didn't even tell me how they did mine. And, it's a rotten system, but unfortunately that's the way it is. If you want to appeal, today is your last day to appeal the property tax assessment.
Hoosier 2025, the best way to start the week with Rob and Jason, 3 hours.
That's right. Bingo.
Corny, 716.
Corny?
Corny, it's a new one. Corny.
Oh, how exciting.
Hey, I actually get to listen live today.
Oh, Corny's an on-demand listener.
Yeah, welcome in, Corny.
Welcome in.
Yeah, absolutely. Debbie Holcomb, love all the new people in the chat. Watch us grow like Jason's plants.
That's right. Bingo.
They're looking pretty good today.
Yeah.
Looking pretty healthy. Yeah, getting that, what is that the sun gives off? Vitamin C?
Vitamin D.
No,
it's vitamin.
I don't know. We closed up the window. So
vitamin D, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Okay.
Sun's vitamin D.
All right. Well, the plants are.
So is milk.
Oh, all right. The old man 68, to quote the late Jackie Gleason, and away we go. Wow, that's a good reference there. Buck 0707. Another new one. I find myself saying, I pay all the time now.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
Debbie Holcomb. Buck, I say it too. I even caught myself saying it in other ways. I do. I go. But I pay. That's a good one.
I'm so proud that the long game paid off, that not giving up.
And they told you not to do it.
Digging into Diego. Yeah, paid off. I'm so happy.
Right. That's so goofy. Mad Duck, morning at Witty Reviews.
That's Stephen Whitmer. That's Indie Reporter.
That's why
who got us our fabulous video of the Diego meltdown.
He did a great job on that. We do appreciate that. That was some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Him laughing in the background is the best part. It's my favorite part.
Yeah. Mad Duck, Diego and his Mr. Microphone. Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later. All right. Josh Richardson, laugh my ass off. Oh, I'm sorry. LMOA. This clown is ridiculous.
Isn't it wild that he just went back up there?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd had your chance.
Yeah, you could tell he was, we weren't there. I don't know all the context, but you could see in the video he was walking back up like pissed.
Yeah.
It's like he had left and somebody yelled something witty. So we'll find out if you can get Witty in here.
Yeah,
and talk with him, we'll find out. But somebody yelled something about probably who paid for India. And he marched right back up there, grabbed that microphone, and
so just a reminder on how the whole timeline went down with that.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out because people are pissed that he went to India, and he goes, well, it's no big deal. No tax dollars were used.
Mm-hmm.
And then we said, okay, well, then whose dollars were used? And he's like, well, I'm not telling you. And we said, what do you mean you're not telling us? And he's like, well, this was when the Elon Musk stuff was going on with Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, well, I don't want some conservative businessman to get protested. I was like, well, first of all, you ain't Elon Musk. And Indiana's not exactly a protest sort of state. And I don't think the left, while they got a lot of stuff on their mind, I don't think finding the guy who paid for you to go to India is the tippy top of the list. So he thought it was going to go away, but it didn't go away. And then randomly one day he just came out and goes, Well, I paid the money back. So I paid. And we were like, oh, okay. Well, who'd you pay the money back to? Well, I'm not going to tell you. And so we had this, remember, we had this huge back and forth.
Why would you pay it back? Why didn't you just buy the ticket yourself?
Well, exactly. Because he didn't pay the money back.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, okay. And they were stupid enough to negotiate with me basically while I was on the air, where we said, okay. Finally they said, we'll show you the check, but we're not going to show you who it was made out to. They said, you can come over and you can see the check, but so I don't know if they were going to blur it out or what. They weren't going to show me any proof the check was
he's still not answering who paid.
Exactly.
Right.
But he was going to show me proof that he paid, but he wasn't going to show me proof that the check was cashed.
Right.
He wasn't going to show me who it was made out to, and he wasn't going to show me the receipts, which it's like, if you were paying the money back, someone would have to show you receipts.
Right. And then you could write it off.
Where did you stay? What did you do? Right? He wasn't going to show me that, and so I talked to one person in the accounting industry, and I talked to somebody in the payroll industry, and they were like, you'd be an idiot to take those terms because you're not going to learn anything, and then he'd say, see, I showed you.
Exactly.
So no, there's never been a shred of proof that Diego ever paid for that trip. None. Zero.
Witty Reviews also points out Kyle Pierce was the one that said, I didn't bring up India.
Yeah.
Because you heard somebody here say, I didn't bring up India.
Yeah.
So that was Kyle Pierce.
Now, Kyle Pierce isn't innocent in all this either because Kyle Pierce is a state rep, and he voted to fund all of Diego's stuff, and he only spoke up when his buddy Max got in a race. So Kyle Pierce not a good guy in this either, nor are any of these state reps who voted for the budget, which I think all of them but one or two on the Republican side. Haggard voted against it, maybe another one. And on the Senate, same way. Maybe one or two voted against the budget. Almost all of these people voted to keep giving this guy this money on multiple occasions.
And Diego pointed out, if you pay him,
yes,
then he would. What did he say? How did he phrase that?
Should we play it again? Can we play it again?
We can play it again.
Would we shut the stream down?
Yeah, we can.
Just for fun. It's so bad.
Yeah, let's try it again here. Where's he at? Let me find it. There we go. Here we go. I think this is the one.
All right. If not.
All right.
Foremost, I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office, period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that. Then give me the check first.
I didn't bring up India.
But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lied right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County. Let me be that clear. You see, we need to set the record straight because these people, they're trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight.
I can't get enough of it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I got to hear it again.
And it was like, people didn't know whether they should clap or not clap, or it was like
he said on there, basically, unless you give him money, he doesn't owe you an explanation for anything.
Right.
Only the people who pay for his stuff does he have to talk about who paid for his stuff.
Yeah, Whitty wants to know how much he has to donate to find out.
That's a good point.
Okay. Baby Fishmouth, okay, but when you quote unquote raise money, you're getting that money from someone else.
Right.
So technically, you didn't pay.
Well, and then what I can't figure out is you're supposed to disclose gifts. So if it didn't show up on a campaign donation, and it didn't show up, how did it not show up on one of his personal disclosures on gifts? That's what I can't figure out. And he was just like, I'm not doing it. I don't know. I don't understand how that hasn't had to be disclosed somewhere. Because either somebody paid for that trip. It was either a gift, personal gift,
right,
which you have to disclose.
Right.
Or it was a campaign donation, which you'd have to disclose if you went for campaign purposes.
Right.
Which I don't know why you'd go to India for campaign purposes.
Jack the Libertarian points out we need to make that a ringtone. I pay. All right.
I'm so glad he said it in front of everybody because the one in Clay County was the best where he started freaking out. But that one was pretty good.
All right. Continuing on. Let's see. Where are we at here? Debbie Holcomb. He did say that if you don't give him money, he won't listen to you. He enforces and runs the elections. What is it about Bartholomew County Clerk? He mentioned the Bartholomew County Clerk.
I don't understand what maybe Whitty could, if he's still with us, could.
Was like he verification? Like, would he verify? I mean, if so, get him on the hot seat. All right, Diego, throw somebody else's name in there.
But I get that immigrants have like issues with English, but the guy's been in the country for 30 years or whatever.
And the angrier he gets, the more broken.
Yeah,
it is.
and it's like, speak normal, dude. Like that was gibberish.
Mm-hmm.
He's using words that don't go together. He was skipping words. It's like
he also mentioned, like the old man pointed out, no one is going to walk all over me again.
Yeah.
So who did it the first time?
That's a good point.
I mean, all right. The 0601 board. The Bartholomew fellow is the one contractor that was legit? Was the question.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. We'll get into all that.
I know we got more comments on this, but the Republicans made this guy. This is the thing. All of these people who did nothing or teamed up with him in the case of Rokita and Banks, they're to blame. Nobody did anything. And we were the bad guy for pointing it all out.
All right, let's see. The 0601 board also added, you called him a buffoon.
Yeah.
I think at one point, among other things. The 0601 board says, the buffoons would like to express their concern being likened to Diego. 0601 board speaking on behalf of the buffoons out there.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking for us. Sue Seifert, they scheduled, talking about the convention, the GOP convention coming up Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, they scheduled that because of the golf tournament. Rob won't come if we schedule it on that day.
I would probably have gone if it were in Indy. I'm not driving to Fort Wayne and back.
Yeah. The Dutch Todd Gack. Is Diego drunk? What the hell was that? And then Debbie Holcomb repeated your verbal flatulence.
Yeah.
Flatulence?
Fluviance.
Yeah. Oh, I think we all heard flatulence. Okay. Well, she did. I did. Steve Green with an E is this Diego stuff is fabulous. Yes, it is.
It's great, isn't it?
The gift that just keeps on
He's
giving.
like a cartoon character. This is why I said if I'm a delegate, I'm voting for Diego. I can't let this end yet. I mean, it's got to end in November, which it will. You got to vote for Diego if you're a delegate. You gots to.
T. Heller, this is a good one. He's a stain on that flag behind him. Kent Panair, 10 gold stars to Honeysuckle Bistro. Andy and Jody are tops.
I think they went over the weekend, which is awesome. It's great. Yeah, that place is fabulous, and several of you guys went, I know, this past week, over the weekend, to Honeysuckle Hill Bistro. Yep.
The 0601 board added, yay for the new sponsor and images of dogs.
Yes. All-American Dog Fence, our new fabulous sponsor. They're big fans of our show. Great people. Kelly, Jeff, they're awesome.
Yeah, Debbie Holcomb. Trump yelling fight, fight, fight has a whole different vibe than Diego yelling it.
Yeah.
Do you think he stole that on purpose? Like that was in his the whole thing? Like
Diego's an idiot. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I don't think people understand well, maybe they do now, how genuinely stupid Diego is. Like when you have a conversation.
It's like he just popped up out of nowhere. Kind of like Holcomb. It's like, where'd this guy come from? He would not have ever made the vetting process through the actual public had the public known who he was.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of the same thing with Diego. It's like, what? I mean,
he's an idiot. Like, and I know we don't play a lot because he doesn't speak a lot, and now you see why he doesn't speak a lot. But so we don't get a chance to like actually play how stupid Diego is. But he is a complete moron.
Kenneth E. Gold. We went to the brunch at Honeysuckle Hill Bistro on Sunday, and I concur. Jody and Andy are great people, and the food is amazing.
Yeah.
Commercial just kind of writes itself,
doesn't
it?
It does. Jody and Andy are awesome. And look, I know the bistro is a little bit out of the way, guys, but it is totally worth the trip. You will love it. The atmosphere, everything is just amazing.
You were talking about people meeting online or how
Yes.
people used to actually meet in person.
Because there is an allegation that Max Engling was on some multiple websites, adult hookup websites, Adult Friend Finder and Fling or something like that. And my point on all that was,
I mean, even if it was like same sex or whatever, I mean, who cares in this day and age?
Well, right.
What's that got to do with anything?
They're clearly trying to innuendo about this because there's all sorts of dating sites.
Right.
And the guy.
Now, you got video of him performing or something. Okay, that's a whole different thing. Performance art. That's what they call it.
No, look, that's the insinuation, right? That's the innuendo with this. But my deal is there's plenty of things not to like about Max Engling. If he is a 23-year-old dude on an adult dating website, what do I care?
I mean, Facebook was like a dating site for the most part. If
And
you're young.
I don't care. Look, we talked about this last week with the Pride Month stuff. I don't care who anybody's hooking up with. I don't care if Max Engling was hooking up with a different chick every single night. Don't care. He wasn't rubbing it in my face. I don't care. I don't care.
I'll hold that comment.
I don't care. Like the same way with the whether you're gay, straight, whatever. I don't care. Sleep with whoever you're sleep with. Leave me alone. All I care about. I don't care where the guy.
It's not like the rest of us weren't out there trying.
Well, exactly. Right? I don't like and by the way, it was 15, 16 years ago.
Right.
Now, if he was married.
Now again, if you're a Nazi 15 years ago, okay, that's a different kind of choice versus just like being a normal guy and trying.
But we
to
all
hook
know
up.
what the innuendo is here with this.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Can he do the job?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they push the innuendo further, or if he just leaves it as it is.
Like, to me, that is, of all the things to go at this guy about, that's the total non-story.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm mildly curious, like if there was criminal mischief, which he was allegedly charged with, if that was indeed him and he was charged with that, I'm mildly curious what that is, just because that involved the law.
Yeah, again, at 20-some years old, though. I mean,
well, I'm not saying I wouldn't vote for him. I'm just curious what it was.
Yeah. All right. So on that topic of meeting people, Timothy Sears, you met them at the grocery store or church back in the day.
It's a Dan Fogelberg song. He wrote a whole song about that.
That's probably what he was. That's probably okay. Baby Fishmouth. I met my husband on Twitter.
See?
There you go. Debbie Holcomb. My hubs and I met online before there was online. Get this. GTE had a research project in the late 1980s to see if something like the internet would work. It did. Isn't that crazy? There was internet back in the 1980s.
Huh.
Who'd have thought? Was Gore? Did he?
That's right.
That's
Gore
when he
invented
invented
the
it.
internet.
Yeah. Robert Schwartz. A lot of dating today consists of text. I guess actually heard this once. Guy was told, "You have her number. Call her." The reply, "That would be weird." It would be kind of. I don't really want to call.
Yeah,
text me.
I just don't. I think that's again, I get the innuendo they're going for, and they want people to keep digging in.
I guess if a woman wanted to call me and hook up, that'd be different. She could probably call me, but otherwise, you got to text me. I'm not answering.
Like, if he's a single dude, and even if he's not, I don't care. It's his marriage. Do whatever he wants. All I care about is how you do the job. I'm pissed at the guy because he's a shill for banks. I don't care at all about his personal life.
Hey, Jack the Libertarian points out you could meet your possible future soulmate at the live show.
That's true.
Very inexpensive way to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you'll know they're like-minded people.
That's right. Lisa Panair, my husband surprised me with the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro on Friday. And everything was so good, right down to the view.
Yep.
Andy and Jody are fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. I love that you guys are getting out there. Yeah, they're awesome.
Kevin Branham, hit that like button. Please hit that like button.
Yeah, we got to get to 200 by the end of the show.
To 200. We don't have to, but if you could
very
help us,
disappointing.
that'd be pretty awesome if we could. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Vic Ferrari, you don't want Tony Two Necks to come looking for you. You were talking. What context there? You were talking about. You were using it as an example, but
the mafia.
The mafia, but still, Vic. Even though we can't place it, I know what you're talking about.
No. What I was talking about was the guys that have donated to Diego.
Okay.
I said there's some guys that look like they fit in well on The Sopranos that have donated to Diego.
Yeah, I'd heard that. I couldn't quite place it.
See the convicted felon that he went to the NBA Finals with.
Kenny Ramsey, wait till your father gets home. Rob talking about being penalized, put in timeout by Mom Kendall.
That's right. There were 2 levels of punishment.
Yep. Go, Mom Kendall, go.
There was one where she'd forget.
I forget. It's so peaceful down here. Oh, yeah, that's because I sent Rob to his room. All right. Mad Duck on Iran. Deal, no deal, deal, no deal. I don't let them yank my chain anymore. And Steve Green with an E adds, because there is no deal. I think there's a deal. We'll just see if, they're going to hold to this deal.
I don't understand how it holds if Israel and Hezbollah got to behave in Lebanon. I don't understand how that's going to work.
Well, I think that should be carved out as a separate deal.
Well, it's not.
Well,
it's in the deal.
They didn't ask me.
According to that Pakistani guy.
Right. That guy. Yeah, Steve Green with an E. Do not release the money. Okay, the problem with that is this is not like sending them, billions of dollars in cash on a pallet when there was no damage done, right? That would have been giving them more money than they already had. What this is, the way I see it, I'm a simpleton. The way I see it, you killed, you tore up a lot of their infrastructure. So something where, like, I don't know what it is, 300 million people or whatever on unemployment over there, because of course you destroyed a lot of the infrastructure. A lot of people now are dependent on the government, which God forbid you dependent on the Iranian government, but they're not working. Everything's at a standstill. And this money is not giving them money. It's basically their bank account was froze. Now they're going to unfreeze it in steps, they say, once they hit certain goals or certain things. So, I mean, unless you're just going to take over the country, you have to let them have money. I mean, they have to have the money. And again, a lot of the people that were that killing all of their people, their citizens before this all happened, the ones that were in control of that money are all dead now.
But so, it's the same set of lunatics.
I understand that, but at some point you either have to take over the country, which we don't want to do.
Well, I think that was the inevitable end.
Afghanistan.
Once you start.
Or you give them the money and work with them, because the whole point is, who cares that they have whatever amount of money they have, as long as they can't use it for the nuclear.
But they're going to use it to fund terrorism. They're still insane
people.
Well,
I think now you would have a little better parameters on that. But, I wasn't there making the deal.
You're
they didn't
so
allow
trusting.
me in the room. I'm not saying I trust them. I'm just saying that would be the logistical reason that I would think they have to let them have their bank account. I mean, you know how that is when you get your bank account froze.
You do.
And you don't know why you can't get your money out. And they say, well, we'll let you know when we'll let you. It can be pretty discerning, but they have to be able to survive. So, we'll see if this works. I don't necessarily have faith that it will or won't work out. I'm just saying that would be the reason for that. So let's continue on with Vic Ferrari. No, this isn't even the same situation. Don't even try it, Robert. He agrees with me, is what he's saying. It's not the situation.
Because Trump did it.
Yeah. Again, if I don't do any destruction to you and I don't take a penny from you, and then I give you, several $1 billion on a pallet, okay, that's giving you money. If I just freeze your accounts to where you can't have that money, but I'm able to oversee you now, and I can, I know if there's going to be terrorism involved and things like that, that's a little different. They're not just letting them have it all back. There are strings attached. The way I understand it, I didn't watch Fox last night. Sorry, I don't know all the details, but okay. Vic Ferrari, tell him, Jason. I just did. Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Steve, for having my. Oh no, that was both of those were Vic. Sorry, that was not Steve. Steve was like, "Don't release the money." Okay. Thanks, Vic. All right,
that's perfect.
We'll leave it there.
That's
okay.
so good.
M. Balor. I think Steve will eventually come around to my way of thinking. I have faith. M. Balor. We eliminated their military, and yet they can still fire dozens of ballistic missiles every other week. They've been blockaded, and yet they are still a threat to the strait. I'm over the lies and half-truths. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not certainly I'm not an apologist or what have you. Pamela S. They don't want to mess with Diego too much. I think he knows stuff.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's no doubt.
He knows where, yeah.
He called their, Diego was the big winner. He called their bluff on that you got to get out of the race stuff. He was like, no, I don't think you're going to say anything about me.
Mm-hmm.
And to this part, can you imagine like what he must have on those people that he basically walked right up to the line of accusing Engling of being some sort of like sex worker and basically accused him of being a criminal, and they haven't just played whack-a-mole with him and beat him into the dust? Can you imagine if somebody said that about you and you just didn't respond to it?
Well, politicians are weird people. I need a one-up. That's a new one. I trust the Iranians about as far as I can throw Jason. Okay.
I wouldn't be able to throw Jason very far. He's a tall guy.
Yeah, I don't say I trust them at all. I mean, I'm just saying I trust Trump to do what's right, but we'll see if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Never know. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Several people. Mad Duck, Brian Bozick, Joseph Norris, Kathy Eaton, McCallum, Rusted Bolt Garage, Ricky Clark, Vic Ferrari. What's wrong with the audio? That audio's not working. Lots of high-pitched squealing. Well, that's some worthless audio. Can't make out a thing. Can't hear anything. What the hell is up with the audio? Audio not working. Why does all the audio sound like an 80s mixtape? Okay, that was just a...
Thanks.
That was what you call a mix of the folks there. Yeah, we screwed something up.
So we told you this is going to happen, guys, right? We told you.
Yeah, I think we know what we screwed up, though. We kind of figured it out. But see, all this, though, I put... You guys are right for doing this because that told us, because we can't really... We're still living in the Stone Ages here. We're just waiting on a few weeks. I don't know, but no, that when you point that out, it makes me jump and makes me realize what's going on. So I do appreciate it. Back to the deal, Robert Schwartz. The deal will go sideways when Israel decides to do something. Yeah, I think Israel is the wild card in this whole thing.
Yeah, that's why. How would it last?
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. They're not going to not attack Hezbollah.
Oh, Andy Engel joined us late, and he was watching later than everybody.
Yeah.
He's just now catching up. This video with Diego is great. All right, thanks, Andy. That's all right, though. That's good. Debbie Holcomb. Is Lauren next? Yes, we had Lauren on. That was awesome. Lauren giving us some info about the real estate market.
We'll post the that interview later if you want to go back and see how crazy the Indianapolis real estate market is right now. It's wild.
Ryan Wilson. We just sold. Market was definitely down in 46201, but builder incentives outside 465 were insane. Not sure if that did you move on outside 465 there, Ryan? Shrog Sandwich, she's 40? Yeah, Lauren said she was 40, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look 40.
No.
Debbie Holcomb, we've been in our home for 29 years. We bought it intending to retire. Bowden JM, great real estate stats for Indianapolis.
I went to a family reunion over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my wife's side of the family, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys there is that's always there every year. He's a big fan of our show and watches us now. And he was telling me they moved out of Indianapolis to Martinsville,
mm-hmm.
and they moved because I guess there are thieves, car thieves. They're called like Kia thieves. Like
Okay.
they target Kias.
Oh, Kias, right.
Because apparently Kias are easy to steal.
Yeah,
I don't totally understand it.
Yeah.
He said right in the middle of their driveway,
Mhm.
they like in the middle of their driveway, they broke the windows and tried to get in. They couldn't get the cars out because they had the special anti-theft thing because they heard about these guys.
No alarm?
Well, they called the cops, whatever.
Okay.
They said all the cops didn't even come out. They just took a report.
Right.
And that's it.
So, you own a Kia.
Yeah.
Okay, figures.
And they were like, all right, we're moving. But they said they made, because they'd owned that house for like 30 years, they
had to bank.
Well, they did by Indianapolis standards.
Oh, my God.
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
people, the neighborhood I don't think is great. But, yeah, they told me what they made. And I was like, oh, good for you. And you live in a much nicer place now.
Right. Okay, and I know we got to roll on here. So a couple closing thoughts. George, and had a bunch down here, guys. Just great job by all the chatters. Always appreciate it. Love seeing the chats. George Schoolcraft, do you have anything positive to say about Trump? You and the Indy Star are one and the same.
That's right, because I never say
try
anything
to
good.
help him.
I never say anything good about Trump ever.
George. He just doesn't get it. Okay, Drew, Diamond Jacks allegedly has a grinder profile as well. Is that true or not?
No,
I'm
we have
not
no
sure.
idea about that. I have
Well, he
no
says
idea.
allegedly. I'm not sure. Drew, you better show some receipts on that, buddy.
Yeah, we don't know,
It was
and
good, though. That's
we
why I
don't
read
care, and it doesn't matter who has what. All I care about is the way people can do the job. Can they do the job? Are they
Right.
capable of doing the job? None of this stuff has been proven, by the way. That was even said in that email. Now,
I mean, who doesn't have sex?
Well, but
Or hasn't?
But
you know?
none of the stuff that he even had the account was even proven. It's like it's just it's the whole thing. It feels like very grasping at straws. That hey, we're going to try to manipulate somebody into a behavior,
right?
Because there's so little record on the guy. So the whole thing to me is a non-issue. Go after his actual positions on stuff, like the fact that he had to ask Jim Banks permission.
All right, we'll leave it with this. Charles Ludy, he was late getting to us, but Charles in the chat. What happens at the live show stays at the live
That's right.
show.
Yes, you could meet your significant other.
There we go. All right, that'll do it for the chat. Brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. That'll do it for me. So long, everybody.
Hey, guys, masonry color mismatch. Previous repair catching your eye. Not happy with the brick color on your home and ready for a total makeover. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants offer specialized masonry, staining, and recoloring. Whether you want to seamlessly blend repairs or completely transform your home's exterior, want to build something new? Bramwell Mackay's 40-year master masons design and construct custom patios, sidewalks, outdoor summer kitchens, archways, entryways, and more. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY.com. Beauty built to endure. All right, that's going to do it for us today. You guys have a great rest of your Monday. Have a very safe and happy rest of the day. We'll see you back here Tuesday, 9 until noon. You guys are the best. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. We'll see you tomorrow. Producer Jason, I'm Rob Kendall. You've been watching Rob Kendall Show.